Hello, everybody. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. How we doing? Hey, what's up, Curtis? Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday to you all. Hope everybody's having a good weekend here. Hey, most smarties, happy Sunday, dude. Good morning. Discreet. What's up, dude? Hello, hello. That's right, big game today, boys. Seahawks are going for it. That's right. We got big things going on later today. All right. Well, guys, I figured we would check out a little. Some people I've noticed had some questions about reaching 100% approval in the current state of the game and stuff. So I figured we would explore that. I had done some testing the other day, and figured we would go through a little bit of that and check out some of that information and stuff. I hope the Patriots lose. Yeah, hey, I don't mind what happens in the other game as long as the Seahawks win, baby. That's all that matters for me. What's up, Baff? Happy Sunday, dude. That's right. It's time for Baff to heat up some mushy peas and fish and chips. It's about that time. Mega Mech Real, what's up, dude? You're there we go. The Jeff Goldblum 2.0. You streamers were so preoccupied whether or not they could play Manor Lords, they didn't even stop to think if they should. That's right. Alex, how we doing? Wild Shiny Metapod, what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are having a great Sunday, a great weekend. Cool. So this, I don't know if you guys maybe remember, but it was from a few weeks back. We did a challenge on the live stream, and we made this town from scratch, and it was a farming only challenge. So this town basically has not touched any resource deposits whatsoever. So we have not touched stone, animals, nothing. We haven't touched any natural resource deposits here in this region at all. We've only utilized farming as far as like a a natural resource. And we just stopped this town when we reached the large settlement or large town settlement level, which is the maximum settlement level that you would need for the Cheerful Metropolis achievement, or just whatever, if you're doing like on the edge or the rise to prosperity. The goal is to reach the large town settlement level. So we just reached that large town when we had left off with this town from a few weeks back in that live stream. So this is that same exact town. So yeah, as you guys can see, we're at like 84% approval right now. So the town's fine. Basically, we just did just enough to get to that max settlement level, and we didn't really do anything else. So we can pick it up from here and kind of go through the steps of like, because hopefully you guys should be good with, I feel like we've reviewed a bunch of times how to get up to the tier 3 housing, right? So once you get your tier 3 housing up and you've got that large town settlement level, what do we need to do now, right? To get everything 100, to get that 100%. Maybe you want to get that Cheerful Metropolis achievement, or maybe you just want to, like, for fun or whatever, just make it to 100%. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what needs to be done there. Because I saw quite a few people mentioning that they were like hung up around, you know, like 95 to 99% being stuck there. And I saw what was going. I had that same thing kind of happen to me when I was testing for a bit. So we'll kind of go through what, you know, what exactly do we need to do to get over that hump. You know what I mean? Yeah, what's up, Alex? Do we know when the new patch will drop for the game? Thanks for the guides. Hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hope you have a great weekend too, by the way. Yeah, so I don't know. We don't have any news as far as like you know, when any of the upcoming patches are going to be dropping as far as right now. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything. Um, but yeah, I mean they released that development update I think about 2 weeks ago at this point, right? So you know, I would imagine that there's probably going to be a beta update coming. You know what I mean? By by February sometime. But you know, that's just kind of speculation. Great video on Fabledom. Nice. Still prefer Manor Lords. Oh yeah, for sure. No, no worry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I figured it would be cool to kind of check out, you know, some other stuff on the channel. You know, pretty much 95% of the content here on the channel is about Manor Lords, and you know, that probably won't change, but you know, I figured it'd be cool to check out some other stuff, explore and discover some other games. But yeah, I figured we would maybe, I don't know if anyone, like if any of you guys, it was something I wanted to bring up. I'll maybe post a poll about it or whatever too. But I know we've chatted about like, you know, discovering other games, whatever. But like if you guys are into that, you know, definitely let me know, and like what, you know, I guess like day would be good for you. I had kind of thought about Fridays, but, um, you know, not to, like we'll still do the Sunday thing, you know, and all the regular stuff. But anyways, if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. But obviously, we'll keep going on Manor Lords. It's just you know, it's a roller coaster, obviously. So we gotta ride the wave as best as we can, you know. But yeah. All right, so let's check out what's going on here, guys. So, like I said, 100% approval. Maybe you're, you know, got your towns kind of maxed out and you're wondering, you know, what do we need to do to get this approval over the hump? So, first of all, take a look at, like, what do we have, like, demands wise, and what do we need? So we do have most things covered. Once again, we're just doing the farming. So, of course, we do have, like, you know, clothing from the flax. We've got ale from the barley. We already upgraded the church. You know, we've already got the basics, water and fuel and all that kind of stuff. We do have, there's like, we put in a bunch of goat pens. So we are getting milk, like for animal produce, as far as that category. And then we have an orchard backyard right here. And we're getting apples from that for the fruits category. And meats and fishes, we have sheep that we're butchering for the mutton. And then once again, we're also getting Siobhan from the goats. And then grains, we've only been farming wheat so far, so we'll have to also get some grain, because some rye grain, because we need rye and wheat bread to have both categories. And then we have a vegetable backyard farm right here. So we only have carrots, so we'll need a second variety of vegetables, or we need some kind of forage goods. And you know, since we're not in this one, if just to kind of keep the challenge going, I guess we can make sure we don't, you know, don't utilize any of these resource deposits, just to keep the challenge going from what we had originally set up. So basically, we need a forage good or veggie. We need a rye bread, and we do have like I said, a bit of the Siobhan meat coming in for the second type from the goats, but maybe not enough to really sustain all of this. You know what I mean? So maybe we need a little bit more meat, and yeah, then hopefully we should be looking good. So what we're going to do is we've already got a decent amount of goat pens, and if we see on our environment affinity, we have a decent amount of the woodland. So we'll probably add in some pig pens, because that'll give us more meat specifically. And not just, you know, the goat pens are going to give us the combination of meat and hides and milk and all that. So we're just going to throw, there's some houses over here that have some empty lots. There was one right here that didn't get filled in. So we're just going to put pig pens on those and ramp up a bit on the meat production. Make sure we're good on that for 2 types, because we have more than enough mutton, as we can see, from slaughtering sheep. So we just need a strong amount of a second type. Also, as we can see, our economy is very strong, so we can use our economy for whatever, really. Of course, since we're doing farming, you can see we're making a ton of money selling wheat bread. We're also making a good amount of money selling excess ale. And we've been selling like gambesons from making flax. In this region too, side note, we took the Woodwright Journeyman perk. So there's no perk that's giving us any additional approval or anything like that. And as far as like economy, we've been, you know, making a lot of money from also selling, for example, small shields, right? From utilizing the Woodwright Journeyman perk. So you can see, you know, economy's pretty standard stuff. Selling, you know, we have fertility, so we're selling bread, selling ale. We're selling shields, selling gambesons, selling shoes, right? We've spent some money on some sheep. Once again, since we're not using any resource deposits, you can see I spent some money on like construction materials since I wasn't able to gather stone myself or iron or anything like that. But overall, we're still very much in the positive. You can see here we spent like 5,500 and we've made like 17.5 thousand. You know what I mean? So it's like profits are huge. So we can definitely go ahead and import some stuff that we need to. So as far as the rye bread, we already have, this harvest is already planted and we didn't have rye here. So I'm just going to go ahead and import some rye flour. Make that simple. And then we'll also go ahead and import some berries and some mushrooms, because these are pretty easy to keep on hand. They're not too expensive. And once again, we have a ton of money, ton of economy. So we'll go ahead and just import forage. That'll take care of the forage goods requirement, right? And then we'll get that second type of bread going for the second type of grain. And then we're ramping up meat production with those pig pen backyards. All right. So we're thinking ahead about what are all the requirements that we need to take care of here. We're going to run out of ale soon. Or maybe not. We have a good amount still. Okay, but let's also stop selling off so much ale. So like I have a surplus of 100. Let's bump that up. And the shoes too, because we're going to start upgrading houses. So we want to just have more materials around. Let's also go ahead to the tavern. We're going to upgrade the tavern because we need, now we're going to have more houses that need access to the ale. So let's get that upgraded. So we're adding in backyard extensions, upgrading our tavern, setting trade for importing stuff that we need to get the rest of these requirements fulfilled and stuff like that. What's up, Ned? Happy Sunday, dude. Welcome in. Good morning. All right, so let's also get triple back up on our logging camp. We get the tannery going again here because we have a bunch of hides sitting around. Okay, and we're also going to need some more storage buildings, so I'm going to move some of these other buildings that are just sitting here, like these forager huts that we were using to passively gather the herbs. And then we're going to put another granary and another storehouse here because we're going to need more storage and more marketplace because we're going to, as we upgrade a bunch, we're going to have to upgrade a bunch more houses to level 3, and that's going to, add more living spaces, of course, and then we're going to have more coverage for, distribution and just all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have some more storage buildings. That does mean, of course, we also need 10 stone to build this granary. So we do have... That should get imported at some point in the near future. So for now, we can put another storehouse right here.
Look here.
And we move those forager huts. This is another fun bug. If you have an herb garden on a forager hut and you move the forager hut, it loses the herb garden, so you have to purchase it and construct it again, which is obviously a bug. Storehouse coming up, and then as soon as we get that stone that we need, we'll add another granary as well, and we'll of course get these storehouses and granaries upgraded.
Come on.
Okay, we're replanting trees, yada yada. We're just kind of doing some basics right now. We do have tools around that, like I showed, we were importing some iron and just kind of making tools that we needed for the town, keeping that nice and simple. Okay, these guys go back to these huts that we moved, and these are literally just, if you guys missed what we did with these, the forager huts, once again, we're not gathering any materials from resource deposits, but you can use the forager huts and put a herb garden on them, and then, for example, we have our veggie plot workers assigned to the forager huts, and then we have the advanced tab with the manual work area just set like, in the middle of nowhere, so there's actually no berries to gather, and it just passively will produce some herbs, and it doesn't impede on their farming tasks, like for the vegetable backyard garden. Alright, there's that additional storehouse. Let's get that upgraded. I'm going to move this out of the way too. And we'll probably put a little another market area just right here. Cool. So we're just right now, so we got all those animal pens in, by the way, too. So we'll just add pigs on all those. Okay, there we go. So now we got some pigs for some more meat production. We'll keep an eye so we can see we already started to import. Now we have mushrooms. So we've got some foraged goods already. Soon that'll be covered. So this is why we need additional storage and additional market distribution too. Looks like we just purchased some berries, for example. We do have rye flour, so we can go ahead to our bakery and tell them to start making rye bread. So we already imported some forage goods and some rye bread stuff. Let's bump these down a little bit. We don't need quite so many forage goods. There we go. And there's the stone. The stone got imported that we needed there, so we'll go ahead and get the granary, another granary right here. Our additional storehouse is up and ready, upgraded. We're going to get another marketplace stall, because our first marketplace stall only has 4 more open spots. So we're going to need more than 4. So I'm just going to add another market area over here. Squeeze it in if we can. 8 spots right there, that'll work. Okay, so we got, 12, I guess. 12 stall locations. Oh, we had 4 over here and then 8 more. Okay. Awesome. Set a little overstock as well. Alright, so as these come into... We get our another granary ready here and stuff like that. And then we're going to start adding some people for more distribution as we have more goods that are going to need to make it to the market for all this type of variety. As we got to deal with all them advertising their goods as always. Good sirs and ladies! Alright, and while all that's going on, since we got that mostly taken care of, we're going to start getting upgrades rocking on level 1 housing. So basically we can't have any level 1 housing. Level 1 housing is going to drag you down. So if we're trying to get to 100%, not going to happen if you have any level 1 housing. So gotta upgrade. Any house that you have in your region can't have it at level 1. So we're going to just start making progress on upgrading. We've got a lot of these houses are already level 3 and level 2, of course, since we had to make it to that max settlement level, but we do have a chunk of them that are still level 1. So we're going to start knocking out upgrades. And all houses will need to be at least a minimum of level 2, and majority of them will need to be level 3. So we're just going to kind of start knocking out some upgrades here. Okay, and we should be seeing some rye bread starting to get produced here pretty soon, because we did produce some of that flour, or purchase some of that flour rather. And in the next rotation of the fields, we can obviously put some rye, plant some rye. But that should be no problem. Alright, so here comes housing upgrades. There we go. We're starting to see the rye bread coming in now. Boom, boom, boom. Housing upgrades. So once again, we're just going to keep adding these, the rest of these level 1 houses. There's like 4 more over here and 4 more over here. And then we'll be done. All level 1s will be upgraded. So that's kind of the first step as far as eliminating all those level 1 houses, because they don't have enough demands to, they can only give you so much approval from a level 1 house, right? Because a level 1 house is only asking for a few things, right? So, look at the difference, right? Between this is a level 3 house demands and this is a level 1 house demands right here, right? So you can see the difference is pretty big difference. So obviously, these people having all these needs fulfilled is going to give you a much higher approval rating than, a level 1 house having just these needs fulfilled. So that's why we got to make sure we bump up all the houses as much as possible and get everything fulfilled as much as possible. Okay, so now we got wheat bread and rye bread now, no problem. Getting these houses upgraded. We got our additional storage buildings coming in. So we're making progress here. Some of the construction tasks might be a little slow because I know we have a lot of ox assigned to the farmhouse. I don't know if maybe we want another one for logging stuff. Let's just order another one. Might as well. Once again, we got plenty of money. Okay. Upgrades are rolling up, so we're almost done with this section right here, and then we'll move on to upgrading these houses. Oh, that's a level 2. Okay, that's fine though. Go level 2 to 3 right there. Okay, so we upgraded a couple of these were level 2 that are going to level 3, and then the rest of these are level 1 going to level 2. And then we'll just have these level 1 houses left over here, which are ready to upgrade too, of course, but we're just keeping a few building tasks at a time so that we don't have our people running all over the place like crazy. All right. How's everybody doing out there? Anything new, guys? Any new fun experiences this week? Okay, we got our new marketplace. Okay, we're going to upgrade this granary as well. I always upgrade storage buildings to the max. So we got our upgraded storehouse. Now we're getting our upgraded granary. Houses are being upgraded. So we're also upgrading from level 2. A couple of these got upgraded from 2 to 3. So that means we're going to have a couple living spaces are going to open up here. We're going to have more people moving into the town as well. Alright, so these upgrades are finishing. And then, like I said, we're going to get these last section of level 1 houses are going to level 2 here. There we go. And that'll be the last of our level 1 houses. And as you guys can see, we are already starting to get a little bit of approval gain here, right? When we started out, we were at, I think, 84%, right? And as you can see, since we've, we started producing the rye bread, so we have a second source of grains. We imported some forage goods, and we've been upgrading some, most of these houses up from level 1. And as you can see, we're already up to 90%, right? So we are making, as you can see, it is starting to rise, right? From these changes that we are making. Chasing Serenity, yeah, what's up? Sunny and oh yeah, that sounds exactly what it's like right here. I live in Pacific Northwest, yeah, and it is. It's actually today, yeah, right now it's kind of sunny and clear and nice out, but it is cold, yeah, very cold, very cold. But no, no like snow or anything like that on the horizon, as far as I know. But I think it's supposed to be actually get a little warm again. But yeah, it's definitely been like it's been really cold, like overnight and in the morning and stuff in particular. But yeah, hope y'all are staying warm and everything out there. Okay, so yeah, like we said, we're up to about 90% now. These we're not gonna have any more level 1 houses now. These were the last of them, so they're getting upgraded and done with. All right, and our granary got upgraded, so now we have an additional storehouse, additional granary, and additional market space. And we're gonna need to get it going soon because our first storehouse is also almost full on storage space as well, storage capacity. So we'll go ahead and let's staff up a few people here on this new storehouse. And same thing for the granary. We'll get a few people going on that. Okay, there we go. So we just added 3 to the storehouse and 3 to the granary. And we are, like I said, so now all houses are level 2, at minimum. We don't have any more level 1 houses in the town. Minimum level 2 for all houses. So now we're going to start upgrading more houses from 2 to 3. So we're just going to start processing some upgrades for going from 2 to 3, like I said. Looks like we're going to need a bit more construction materials to rack up. Let's just also double check because we're also producing like shields and stuff. Looks like there is a reserve already, but maybe we'll just bump it up even a little more. I don't think we're using planks for anything else, so that should be fine. We just gotta make sure that they kind of get replenished there, and we'll just be upgrading buildings as we have the materials. So we have one and another one coming in here from 2 to 3. We're going to keep opening more living space and adding more. As we can see, we are starting, we're keeping up with our coverage. So, we just added 3 more storehouse worker families and 3 more granary families, and we're still, like, honestly could use more, particularly with the granary, right? So we're going to need to continue to add a few more workers here as we add more level 3 houses and more people move in. But overall, though, we're looking good right now. We're just kind of keeping up with the demands as they grow. All right, so that one got upgraded just from 2 to 3. Just keep them going as we have the materials for them. So we have 3 more coming up right here, going from 2 to 3. Okay, see now at this point we're probably going to be low on ale until we have our next harvest, which is coming up very soon. But that shouldn't be a problem moving forward after this. Alex, yeah, does the size of the burgage plot matter for the crops, carrots production, and is there an optimal way for setting them up? Does it slow the families working on other tasks and managing crops? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so here, let me link you a short that will help real quick. Where's this? So that's just like a quick, like 60-second little, just quick little shows how you can like easily set up the veggie gardens and some quick information. But yeah, basically the size of the backyard extension, yes, does matter for like orchards or veggie gardens. Doesn't matter for anything else, like if a goat pen or any form of artisan workshop, you know, blacksmith, cobbler, whatever, the size of the extension is not going to have any impact on the yield or production for those. But for the gardens, for the orchards, or for veggie gardens, yes, yeah, the size of the plot definitely has an impact. That's like literally the amount of physical space that they'll be able to plant stuff. So obviously, more space is, you know, more opportunity for crop space. But yeah, it also takes labor too. So the people that live on these houses, they are the only, you can't like assign other people that live on other houses to come work on these veggie plots. So only the people that live in the house, who are residents of that house, will be able to work that veggie plot or orchard or whatever's in the backyard. So yeah, you want to make sure that your veggie or orchards are double houses, so that you get the maximum amount of families living there. That so you have the maximum amount of like worker potential. And then yeah, you want to try to assign them to jobs that don't take a lot of labor, or keep them unassigned, or something like that, where they don't, you know, you don't want to have them assigned, for example, to, you know, like the storehouse, and they're like constantly busy running all over the town stocking resources and stuff like that, or you know what I mean. You want to make sure that they're doing a task that doesn't really take little to no labor, or you know, unassigned. Keeping them unassigned is fine too. But you know, whatever you prefer in that regard. But yeah, you definitely don't want to have them. You know, same concept for anything in this game, right? Is like all the everything needs to be like physically done, right? So all the you know, any sort of job, if they have split tasks, whatever it is, that all needs to be like, they physically need to like go from their living residence to the workplace, to the storage, to the XYZ, right? So you know, that's always a factor to keep in mind, always. So same thing here with the veggie gardens, of course. Yeah. Osas, the chimpanzee. Hey, what's up? Building requires maintenance. How do you repair the damaged buildings? Yeah, buildings require maintenance, so you're gonna need tools. So up here on your resources tab, on the left side right here, this construction category, you'll see right on the third like section down here in this construction category, you'll see maintenance. And there's tools right there. So you got to have tools. You got to make sure that your town has tools in supply. If your town runs out of tools, then some of your production buildings in particular are going to give you like a warning that they need maintenance, and they could possibly like have damaged goods or something like that if they don't get maintained properly. But yeah, basically you have to have tools. And tools are basic. All you need is iron, and you can construct tools right here in the industry tab. If you have iron, then you convert it to the slabs of iron with the bloomery, and then you convert those into tools with the smithy. You could also do it at a backyard blacksmithing extension, but you don't have to do that. You could just produce tools at the smithy if you need to. But yeah, basically all you got to do is have tools, and then the maintenance should happen basically you know, on its own at that point. If you have the tools in your town, in your storage buildings, and you have people assigned or whatever, the maintenance should kind of just happen. All right, so we do have a September harvest window coming up here. So obviously, you know, we've got a bunch of fields here, so we'll take care of that. We will we'll need to free up some more labor. We have a couple people assigned already. And we have oxens assigned to all these farmhouses too, so that makes it a lot better. But we'll go ahead and yeah, I don't think we're pretty much done on clay. Also, we should stop purchasing clay. I don't know if we're still importing clay. Yes, we are. So we'll stop on that. We got more than enough roof tiles for our construction tasks, upgrading houses and all that kind of stuff. So we upgraded all that we could for now. We need to replenish our ale supply. God, those guys at the market are so annoying. We need to replenish our ale supply to be able to upgrade more houses. So that's going to happen right now after this harvest window because we're about to get a bunch of barley coming in. So we'll get that going. That's why that's why they don't do anything. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So if you happen to like forget about the tools or whatever, it's something that's easy to like forget about, you know what I mean? Something that I like to do, which Baff mentioned a while back, is honestly, and especially, if you're following the max profits and economy guides that, we have here on the channel and stuff, you should pretty much always have a strong amount of regional wealth and a strong economy. Honestly, to even make it even simpler, most of the time I'll literally just go to the trading posts and just go to the tools, which are in the minor trade category. You don't need to purchase the trade route or anything, and literally just set an import and put a surplus of like 5 or 10 or something like that. And then that way, if it slips your mind, you know what I mean, and you forget about replenishing the tools that you need for your town, you're just going to automatically be importing them in the background, and you're not even going to need to worry about it. And like I said, if you're following any of the economy guides here from the channel, you legitimately should never have a problem with having a very strong economy. So at least in the current state of the game. So yeah, I would just honestly recommend I think I do what BAF does, and I just literally just set the tools import like that, and that way if it ever slips my mind, they get imported into the town and it gets taken care of regardless, and I just never really have to worry about it. Yeah, sometimes you'll see like Smarty said. Exactly, yeah. So sometimes if the building doesn't get maintained, then like it could like botch some of the production or whatever. Yeah, so like the production rates go down, and then I think like it could like destroy, like if they, I don't know, if it's like a whatever, I don't know, like a producing like the iron bars or whatever, and then if this one gets botched, then it's like some of the items could get like destroyed and or whatever. So definitely want to keep up with that. But let's move these guys from the malt house too. Gotcha. Yeah. Honestly, and especially if you don't have iron in the region, then obviously you're gonna need to have to use trade anyways. You could definitely, if you're willing and able to do a bit more micromanagement, it's a bit more cost effective to simply just import iron ore and then convert that into the slabs and into the tools yourself. But if you're not, if you don't have the I don't know, maybe you don't want to micromanage that, or maybe you don't want to spend the labor on it, or whatever it is. Honestly, just importing the tools straight up like this is not bad. I mean, we're talking about a difference of 2 regional wealth per, right? I mean, the iron ore is 11 regional wealth, and tools are 13 regional wealth. So, in the long run, it's not like you're going to be making hundreds of tools to the point where you're going to be saving a ton of money by just importing the iron ore. So, honestly, it's probably just, I would really recommend just straight up importing the tools. Nice and easy and simple, Bangers, chips, and beans demolished. Oh boy, that's so funny, dude. Yeah, I'm a diehard Liverpool. I absolutely love Liverpool, man. I live and breathe Liverpool. That's my dream one day, to go to Anfield, man. Yeah, I've been watching Liverpool for a while now, man. Over 10 years. Since Brendan Rodgers was the manager before Jurgen Klopp. So, yeah, I love Liverpool, but yeah, we're in a transitionary period right now. Put it that way. Something like that. All right, so we're doing some field rotation here. We have we'll have more, all kinds of grain and barley and stuff coming in here. for, you know, clothing and ale and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be really good to go on all that. Oh, we just spent 420. I saw that. I saw it pop up. We spent 420. What did we spend that on? Oh, it was a combination of these things. That's funny. Herman making the 420 trade. Getting berries, flour, mushrooms, all kinds of stuff. All right. And we don't need to, now that we're doing another harvest here, we don't need to continuously import like infinite rye or whatever, but anyways. All right, so we're just gonna rotate some of these fields here. We'll put in some rye this time, not just wheat, because I pretty much only had wheat before. Have a bit of both here. Make sure we're doing more barley as well. And once again, guys, this was this town here. This was from a stream. I don't, you know, for those of you who maybe weren't here at the very beginning, but this town was from a stream that we did a few weeks back. We started this town from scratch together on a live stream, and it was a challenge where we did only farming here. We have not touched a single resource deposit. We have only utilized fertility as far as, you know, a resource deposit in the region. And we got to the large town settlement level, the max settlement level, and then we stopped right there. So when we started the stream here, I just picked up, we're just using this town as an example to show, you know, what do we need to do now to be able to get up to actual 100% approval once you reach that large town settlement level. Once you get your level 3 houses coming in and, you know, you kind of got the basics covered or whatever, right? What do we do from here? And so this is just a town that we had already done in a previous stream. Should probably just make these all wheats. Got a few ryes already. All right, that'll be good. So yeah, we're just, that's why I'm, you know, you'll see I'm been using the trading post to like import some like stone and like clay and whatever. It's because we're not, the stone is still sitting here, as you can see. Like we literally didn't touch any resource deposits on this playthrough at all whatsoever, only fertility. So it was a farming only challenge to get to the max settlement level, which we did. And then we just picked up right where we left off from, like I said, this was from a stream that we did from scratch a few weeks back. So if you want to see the process of making this whole town, you can do that. All the live streams get uploaded here on the channel. And so I figured this would be a good town to use as an example to show, you know, how we can, what do we need to do to get to that ultimate 100% now from this point. And on top of that, you know, still we're not using any resource deposits, just to show a little bit, to extend the challenge a little bit more, I guess, and to show how that's possible, I guess. How do I think Man United will do today? Oh, man, dude, Man United's a wild card, man. Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I gave up on trying to guess what's up with Chelsea and Man United. Are both just like extreme wild cards, dude. They'll, you know, like Man United beat Man City last week 2-0, and then they'll turn around and, you know, lose to like Burnley or something. You know what I mean? So that's how Man United and Chelsea both are. So I don't even know, dude. They could literally go any way. But yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of hope that Arsenal will just take it all the way. I don't want Man City catching up again. We're out of the, you know, we're not going to win the league. So it would be kind of cool if Arsenal just won it, you know, finally. So I'm hoping they win, but we'll see. I don't, you know, it's whatever. Do I know how the butchers work? Of course. What do you want to know about the butchers, Peter? We also have another. We did a live stream. We have a full walkthrough for a full butcher setup here on the channel as well. If you're interested, I'll go ahead and link that too. Butcher. Build a bridge across the river for a trader. What's up? It's me. Yeah. I mean, sure. We could do that, but you know. Guess we could build a bridge right across right here, huh? Why not? There we go. Boom. Okay, so this round of farming here should be, and just for perspective too, guys, you can see how many fields we have. These are all roughly 0.5 Morgan space size. And you can see we have, I have 3 farmhouses here that each have 2 ox on them. And so I have 3 people on this farmhouse, 3 people on this farmhouse, 4 people on this farmhouse. So that's a total of 10 workers, right? 10 families. And a total of 6 oxens, and they're able to get through, you know, this very large amount of fields here, just for a little perspective on, I guess, the labor requirements there or whatever. And we are in, yeah, good question, Ned. We are in year 7 here, autumn of year 7. Yeah, I think we hit the, it was like the tail end of year 6 where we left off. From when we did this live stream to do the challenge. So when I think we hit that large town, the max settlement level at the tail end of year 6. And then just checking back in here, you can see we're up to about 93% approval now. So we're getting a little bit, but once again, our ale production temporarily was halted, which will be ramped up again. We're gonna have a bunch more bread and, you know, all kinds of stuff coming in here. So we're gonna have a lot of, and we have plenty of forage goods available now, and yada yada. So we're gonna be increasing. A lot of these things are gonna get taken care of again, once again, and then we're probably gonna start seeing this approval shoot up, and we'll upgrade a few more of these houses. As you can see, we're majority tier 3 now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 tier 2 houses remaining, as we can see here. So 14 level 2 families and then 48 level 3 families. So we're majority level 3. We do have some level 2 remaining. So we're going to upgrade a few more of these, get the ale flowing again, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll be probably shooting up. The approval will start going up there. Yeah, if you have any like particular questions about the butcher or anything, Peter, let me know. But yeah, otherwise, we got that walkthrough video there where we did a full butcher setup and everything. The butchers are, you know, reliant on salt, of course, right? So that is kind of one of the main things if you're going to have like a consistent butcher sausage setup. You kind of really realistically do need like a rich salt deposit in the region. So it's a bit like a, you know, like a niche setup in that regard, I guess. But we're not using fishing in this build, but there was a recent YouTube video. The previous... Oh, I think I saw that one, yeah, where you did a bunch of like data or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but like, that data is probably, I mean, how long is that data going to be relevant for, right? Like, Feel that around year 5, your economy really starts to take off after you're pretty much done reinvesting into the town. Yeah, yeah. Then you're just kind of like, just really ramping up massive profits. All right, so I think all our farming tasks are pretty much done. Yeah, see, they're already through all these fields, no problem. So we'll just go leave one person on each of these farmhouses. And we'll staff up our windmill again, our malt house again. So we'll start getting grain, and we'll switch back. Now we have a ton of rye bread around. We'll switch back to wheat bread, since now we just harvested a bunch of wheat. So we're going to make a bunch more wheat bread. We got more ale coming in. The ale's going to be flowing again. We had a harvest of apples. We got a bunch of carrots. Forage goods, meat, all that. So hopefully we will be looking good here now again. What tax rate do we have at the moment? None. I don't think we even have a manor. Yeah, we don't even have a manor in this town, dude. Yeah, we're in debt. We're in debt to the king. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna scroll back up to your result. Yeah. Oh, you think Man? Hey, honestly, it could happen. I would not be surprised. That's the thing. They're just a wild card, right? They could easily win against Arsenal, or they could easily be completely pathetic and get destroyed. That's why I love watching Man United, though. It's like entertainment. You know what I mean? You're guaranteed to get entertainment. But yeah, no taxing. We don't even have a manor, and that's not really for any reason in particular. It's just because I don't know. We just didn't need it. We're just on like the Rise to Prosperity game mode or whatever. Okay, so yeah, there we go. We're starting to see ale getting produced again. Perfect. More wheat bread. Okay, so now let's take a look here at our market distribution. Okay, so here's what we'll probably, so we're at 100, so we can see right here, look, 100% food variety and 100% common goods, right? So we have everything right now covered. But the thing is, that 100% food variety, we still have 14 houses that are level 2, for example, right? So they're not getting as much food variety or as much general goods or whatever. But we are currently covering pretty much everything. We maybe could use a couple more, market stalls or whatever. But yeah, we are looking like in a pretty good spot. So we just want to make sure now we're going to continue to upgrade some of these houses. But we need the ale to start. We need them to continue stock up more of this ale here at the tavern. As this gets more comes into production here from our barley harvest. Oh, it already happened this morning. Oh, crap. Oh, I'm tripping. I didn't even... Oh, I see. Dude, on Manor Lords stream days, man, I get up... I'm not really a morning person. So, like, I get up and I don't even... I'm just, like, autopilot to get the stream going. I didn't even look at the scores. That's crazy, though. Wow, okay. Wow. That's mind-blowing. But also not surprising, like I said, because Man United's just a wild card. That's insane, though. Wow. Arteta's going to be... I'm going to have to watch another entertaining Arteta post-match interview video. Would the manor up the approval with public order being better? That is a good question, Ned. Very good question. And I guess we can answer that here together and do an experiment here and see if we get all the houses upgraded, and then yeah, take a look at that. But you're right, yeah, because the lack of administrative buildings means we don't have a manor, so we're minus 10% on the public order. I'll be honest though, excuse me. I don't know if that affects the approval rating or not. According to the approval tab, it doesn't, right? Because we can't, we don't observe any negative here on the approval tab from, you know, public order or whatever. That being said, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a thing, but we'll see with that one. That's a good question. Okay, so that ale is coming in. Maybe let's put a second person on that malt house. Let's get that malt rolling in, dude. We need more of that. More of that rocking. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add another person to the granary and another person to the storehouse. Let's up our distribution here once again. And then as soon as we can, we just basically looks like we need more of this. We need this ale to get ramped up and get flowing again at the tavern, and then we'll be able to upgrade more of these houses to tier 3. We got a couple more than upgraded here. Do we have other regions or towns in this map? No, we don't. No, not in this playthrough. Not in this playthrough. No. In this map, in this playthrough, it's just this one town. But you know, got plenty of other playthroughs that we have multiple, I guess. But we could take another one if we want. But there's no. This one's just a peaceful playthrough. There's no like enemy or anything. But oh, you got, hey, what's up, mouse click? You got to 100% with the help of the, yeah, I got you. You had the, one of the perks, right? The, this one, I guess, right? Where you get equipped militia, you get increased approval for having them, like, equipped and stuff. Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully this will show how you guys can do it without, you know, needing, like, a boost in the approval. What exactly needs to be done or whatever. From a perk. Okay, cool. So we're still good on our distribution. We probably just keep adding, you know, as we keep having people move into the town, just keep adding. But we're still good for now. We're still just missing that. We just need that ale to get over here to the tavern, dude. I guess we can add another tavern worker, but I think the holdup is just the production of it. Maybe we're just consuming it too fast or need more time for it to get leveled out again or whatever. But it's happening. And yeah, like we can see, I mean, that's pretty much... so, I mean, this house, for example, I mean, some of the houses do have, you know, the ale as it's ramping back up into production. But, I mean, you can see here, look, this tier 3 house has literally everything taken care of now. Literally every single box is checked. So this is what we want for every single house in the town, basically. So, you know, like these houses that are a little farther away from the tavern, they're still not getting the beverage because we're still behind on the production as we're catching up from that recent harvest. And I guess, honestly, we might even... Let's just go ahead and... Let's just help ourselves out here to get back on track and just... do a little import, I guess, because we gotta get this back in stock enough for us to keep upgrading. See, we have a couple more upgrades popped up. Oh, right here. There we go. So it's just the ale that's really holding us back. So once we get that kind of established again, then we'll be good to go. But yeah, we can see we got plenty of rye, plenty of wheat. Carrots, apples, meat. See, the pork is kicking in now. So between the pork and the Siobhan, we have the second type there. Forage goods, yada yada. So, and if we keep looking at our market and stuff, we just keep seeing that 100%, 100%. We know we're keeping up. But we're still a little behind on... We're like a little bit in the red on the granary, or on the food granary capacity. So we'll just put another one there. There we go. It might be needed if you put the approval on the strictest at the start. Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, obviously... Yeah, you know, you should always, everyone should always be build a manor, always. You know, this isn't necessarily to be like, don't build a manor. We just hadn't built one for whatever, you know, because we're just doing this like farming town or whatever. But that is a really good question if it has an impact on the approval or not. So we'll see what happens here. But we got to get this ale situated here. It's starting to now we're starting to see more surplus around. That's good. And our one backyard orchard might not be enough. Let's set a little import on quinces as well, because our apples might not be enough for like a full year supply of fruit distribution for everyone in the town. Yeah, see, we're still just missing the ale thing because they're just not keeping up with it. So, or they haven't been able to bounce back since we had that last harvest. But we just had an import, so hopefully this will help us get bounced back here, because we have plenty of barley and whatever. We're just kind of trying to get bounced back here. All right, there we go. So now we have another upgrade available right here. Rock that one. Should be good now because we got an import of ale there to help us get reestablished on our supply. Now we can see more up. See, there we go. All of a sudden, look, boom, all of these now. Now we can see all of these houses. Now we're good now. See, look. So look at that, boom. So the ale come in, guys. All of a sudden, look, I don't know if you guys were watching, but we were stuck at like 95% there for a while. All of a sudden, it just shot up to 96, 97. Now we're at 98. See? And so every single house here has every single thing taken care of currently. Not a single house in our entire region has a single checkbox not ticked. So we are, right now, we're on the verge of 100%, basically. We're at 98%. As you can see, we have only 10 level 2 houses remaining. So we're majority level 3. We only have 10 level 2 remaining. We have pretty much everything taken care of. So we're on the verge here. Is it more a case of floor or drought rather than famine and feast? Harvest comes in, they're all happy for a month or two. Yeah, I guess it just took us a little bit to bounce back with the get it supplied while they're consuming it, but we're good now. We just did a little quick import there on top of our production, and we're good. So we're on the verge here. So we'll just get these couple more. We'll just keep. Honestly, I think at this point we literally just need to eliminate a few more of these level 2, get them upgraded to level 3, and we should be hitting 100%. So we've got a few more level 3 upgrades coming in here. So we're right on the edge here. So once again, so there we just went up to 99% right there, guys. 99%. And honestly, as we upgrade these last few houses from level 2 to level 3, it should bump to 100% here. I have to try to spread 3 spread out non-upgraded taverns. Yeah, that's also another good idea too. I mean, you could, yeah, absolutely, like kind of distribute more. You could do the same thing with like a church. You know, you could build like a second church. You know, like over here, so that way, like, there's another church on this side of the town for villagers that live closer to here and they don't have to walk so far or whatever. Those are great, yeah, great options. You know, if you start to get like really big town starts to be more like spread out and stuff, absolutely. It took you 2 minutes to prove it. No, I mean, no, not proving you wrong. Honestly, like I said, I don't even know either. That's a good question, though. These are all really good questions. We're learning together, guys. That's why I wanted to do this one in a live stream, because there's obviously so many variables and, you know, fluid state of the game and all that, so. But we're right on the verge. I'm thinking, honestly, we just upgrade a few more of these from level 2 to 3, and we should be right there. I think these are our last... Yeah, this is it right here. These 3 level 2 houses, these are our only level 2 houses remaining in the whole village. Everything else is tier 3 with every single demand fulfilled. Looks like maybe we're struggling a little bit with that second meat as well. So let's go ahead and just supplement, I don't know, small game, for example. Okay. And once again, we have, you know, our economy's buku just from doing basic stuff. We're not doing anything crazy with the economy. So we're still right on the verge here, 99%. Upgrading these last few houses to tier 3. Just continuously monitoring, make sure we have everything taken care of. You can grow trees in the main road. You can grow tree in main road or make it big like a Viking road. I'm not sure what you mean by that, it's me. You mean like some, I don't know, I mean like aesthetic layout tips? Yeah, if you haven't, definitely highly recommend if you haven't, guys, if you're new to the channel or anything. The latest edited video is a aesthetic town layout and like decoration ideas and stuff. Highly recommend you check that out if you guys haven't. How many manors can you have, by the way? Can you have only one per region? I'm pretty sure you can only have one per region, right? Yeah, like Baff said. Yeah, multiple retinues. Yeah. Yeah, so you can have multiple retinues in the sense of like one retinue per region, right? So you can build one manor per region, and then each manor comes with a retinue. So yeah, you can have multiple. You can have as many retinues as you have regions, basically, right? As many retinues as you have manors, which as many regions as you have, right? So each time you claim a new region and build a new manor, then you'll have another retinue, yeah. And that's unlimited. You can claim however many regions are on the map. That's how many retinues you can have. What happens if you want to move your manor? Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't really know the specific answer to that, but I can tell you with confidence that it's probably not a good idea to try to move the manor to any capacity. I would not recommend moving the manor if you can avoid. Yeah, if you can avoid doing really anything as much as possible with the manor, that's going to be good, because the manor system right now is just completely, yeah. You know what I mean. Just yeah. try not to mess with the manor system too much if you can avoid it, because yeah, it'll cause you problems for sure. You can move all the like parts of the manor pretty easily. With like the castle planner thing or whatever, you know, like for the walls and like Baff's towers or whatever else, you know. But then you'll have to like redo the like construction process or whatever. It's like a whole thing. Basically everything with the manor right now is really finicky. All right, we're still at 99%. We have these last 3 houses right here. All right, here we go. So at this point this will be every single house in our town will be level 3. With all needs fulfilled. So we'll see what happens. We should be hitting 100% here. We're still at 99. Yeah, right. So that's the thing, right? Like if you kind of have like a vision of like oh, I really want to put like my castle or manor area like in a specific spot or whatever, and if it's like kind of far away from like your starting area, then yeah, that could definitely create like a situation where you have to like transport a lot of like construction materials quite a ways or whatever, which could, not the most ideal situation, but if you really want your manor or castle to be there, then it'll pay off in the long run. But yeah, that's definitely something to consider as well, as far as like when you're thinking about where do I want my starting location to be when you start any playthrough and you're choosing the map and the region and you're starting settlement. location and stuff like that. That's another thing to kind of take into consideration. Oh yeah, if you destroyed and then rebuilt, then you would have a few families continuously homeless. Yeah, I would assume, and once again, I have no idea here, and I wouldn't recommend messing with the manor to really much capacity, but I would assume, Smarties, that was because, remember, there was that thing during the beta where like the residents of the manor were like actually families that you could like assign to like jobs or whatever, but then I think they removed that or fixed that or whatever you want to call it. So I don't think they operate like that anymore. So I would assume that wouldn't happen anymore, but who knows. Walk through me. Yeah, do we have the video for this town beginning? Absolutely. I'll link it for you here. Let me find it. I will get that link for you. Right here. Farming only. Get link. There we go. I'll go ahead and pin that one too. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, and once again, this town was a bit of a challenge run too, where we once again we haven't used any resource deposits here. We have only used farming, as far as like the fertility being considered as like a resource deposit, and then obviously a very strong economy. So just using our kind of standard approaches with the profits and economy. And once again, taking a look at the records tab here, you can see since we have the fertility, we're selling a bunch of wheat bread, we're selling excess ale, or we were selling excess ale, but now we're consuming more of it. We're selling small shields, because we have here in this one we have the Woodwright Journeyman perk. Just because we were switching it up from we didn't want to use the Vogtland perk because it has the reduction on the farming that we didn't want to have here since we were, utilizing the fertility. But also just to, use a different perk and kind of switch it up. The Woodwright Journeyman is also strong for economy, so kind of, check that one out a little bit here. And then we're not getting any other approval bonuses from here either. But yeah, so we're just selling small shields. We're selling gambesons from the flax, selling like excess carrots, just various stuff. Nothing too, specific with the economy here, but as you can see, we're just making a ton of money from selling bread, of course, shoes, ale, gambesons, shields. Those are our biggest exports. But you can see we spent money on quite a bit of stuff because we're not able to gather any resources in this self-imposed challenge. So, we've been purchasing berries, mushrooms, construction materials, yada, yada. But yeah, we have not touched any of the resource deposits that are actually in the region other than the fertility. So we're still on the verge here. We're still kind of sitting at 99%. And let's go ahead and max out this granary. There we go. And we have 2 more stall locations. So we'll go ahead and get the storehouse as well. We have 1 more stall location, so let's just do, it looks like we could use another granary, I guess. So there we go. Our marketplace is at 100% each, and we have solid coverage for each category. There we go. And we have every single house at tier 3, and every single house has every single thing taken care of. So this is what I was, I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm hung up at 99%. So as we can see here, right? I mean, that is happening. So this could be a result of the public order. I'm not exactly sure. So we could do an experiment here and, build the manor and see if that is what makes the difference. It also says we have like some unemployment, you know what I mean? Since we've been having more people move into the town, so I don't know, we could just assign people to more random jobs or whatever. So once again though, I'm not really sure if this public order actually affects the approval. It doesn't say so on the approval thing. But we'll see what happens here, because this is definitely what I've seen a few people mentioning. Stuck at 99% kind of thing. So, and as you can see, we have every single house level 3 and like fully taken care of, right? So we should be at 100%. So maybe this is where we're seeing that we need to get the manor, for example. We need 15 stone that we don't have, so we'll bump that up to 15. Get that imported. Developers should add more levels for logging camp, farmhouse forester. Yeah, I mean, there's a very long list of stuff that the developers should do. That's for sure. That's usually one of the topics of discussion that we inevitably end up getting into. But yeah, dude, we won't get into that can of worms too much right now. But yeah, dude, there's a lot that you could say that the developers need to be doing here. But yeah. You can take them out, send the guys to the nearest town, to get back everything they stole from you. Oh, the bandit camps. Oh, was there a question about bandit camps? Sorry. Bandits stealing all the time from me. Oh. Oh, and also, Zira says they're able to move their manor, but you only moved it one time. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, the bandit, yeah, like Bath said, you have to go, rally up some militia or your retinue or get some mercenaries or something and try to take out those bandit camps if you can. Yeah, otherwise they're gonna keep stealing stuff from you. They're pesky, those pesky bandits. Sucks you can't access them. On your no enemy start, I put a well in a granary inside the wall. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it is cool. We've experimented with that here and there. I think it is cool to like put some aesthetic buildings like within the manor walls, you know, just to kind of have it look cooler. But, you know, it's not like functional. Although I did notice that after I had placed some buildings, like a water well and random production building or whatever within the walls of a manor in the aesthetic town that we did, then after I reloaded, then it was able to like select and operate those buildings that were within the manor. But, you know, it's like really buggy and hit and miss, so I'm not really for sure. It's kind of one of those, it's not meant to work, so yeah. When you continue construction in the manor, you lose access to the buildings. Right, yeah, see, I think, it's after reloading. Right. Yeah. See that's basically what I had noticed from when we built that manor with the random buildings that were inside the manor area on the aesthetic riverside. Oh, there we go, guys. It just happened. There we go. So I guess that settles the debate right there, guys. As you can see, we still haven't built the manor. Public order is actually down 20%. We don't have administration building, whatever. But there we go. Official right there, 100%, guys. You can see for yourselves. 100 approval right there. No manor. So I guess that settles the debate as far as if public order has any effect on approval, right? Once again, I'm not advocating, I'm not doing this to show you guys like don't build a manor. I just for whatever, for our own experiment. But yeah, there you go, guys. So we have 100% approval here. Large town settlement level, and just, you know, for perspective here, you guys once again can see we have every single house is tier 3 with every single thing fulfilled, right? So it is, you know, it's kind of a big ask, right? It's a lot harder to get 100% approval now than it in the current state of the game than it was in previous states in the game, that's for sure. So hopefully that can help answer some questions or give a little more perspective on what it takes to reach that. But that is interesting to see about the public order. Um, I honestly had no idea. Yeah, and I know Baffett said too. He posted a couple pictures in the Discord about how he had like a castle with like a pretty sizable area with like a moat or whatever, and some buildings in there that he was able to operate. And then, like Ned said, I was able to operate buildings that were within the manor area after the manor got constructed, and then saving and quitting and reloading, like loading into the game when after the manor's already done, like everything's already done. Then I was able to access those buildings again. But yeah, I mean, once again, I don't. It's not really. It's kind of a broken system, like regardless. You know what I mean? So I think either way, if you're trying to do stuff with like stuff within the manor, it's going to be finicky, hit and miss. But until they actually add like legitimate town walls that are meant for that kind of thing, you know. Um, yeah, there we go. A little round of applause. A little round of applause. 100%. Yeah. Walkthrough. It would. Yeah. I mean, I was actually kind of working on it throughout the week, and I just kept running into all these like random little whatever bugs and whatever kind of stuff, and it just kind of was it was a little tough, but and it's just to get to the 100, it takes it's a long. I was thinking maybe that could be a series because it's like a long, you know what I mean? It's kind of a long process, like getting the town built up from scratch all the way to the max and then getting all that stuff. But of course, it won't be so bad if like this one, once again, we have this extra challenge where we're not like harvesting resources, but it won't be too bad. Like if if we do like a regular playthrough and we're using resource deposits, it won't be so bad. It won't take as long. But yeah, you meant to walk through the town. I gotcha. Yeah, heck yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. All right, from the edge of the town here with our sheeps, we'll walk into the town. Did they just make a major? Did they make coal a major trade? Yeah, coal is a major trade item. Yes. Coal is a major trade item, and the conversion ratio is 1 firewood turns into 2 charcoal. Yeah, so at every single firewood will be converted into 2 charcoal at the charcoal burner. And charcoal is a major trade item now, yes. Top 3 wish list for Manor Lords? I'll have to think about that, dude. How negatively does bandits or attempted claims on your land affect approval? So I don't think bandits or like enemies attacking you or anything like that affects your approval negatively. What will affect your approval negatively, as far as like the result of a battle or the action of a battle happening or whatever, is if there's dead bodies that are like in a close proximity to your town or residential area. The peasants will get very unhappy about dead bodies being around, and you'll probably need to like assign some people to the church or to corpse pits or whatever. But as far as like if there's like bandits that are stealing stuff from you, or if they're attacking you or whatever, that in itself is not going to cause negative approval. It would just be if there ends up being dead bodies, or of course, if they end up like successfully raiding your town and like burning the village down, then of course approval will be going down. But if it's literally just like the action of like they attacked your town or they exist or whatever, then that's not going to affect the approval. once you've set up your town to be self-sufficient and don't want to change anything, you can build a wall around the whole town. Yeah, true. Yeah, you could just kind of like build a, yeah, you could do a whole, a whole big thing and kind of force it and then just like let the town sim. True. No, no, no. I think you used the right term, Mo. I was stuck in, in, in the guide brain. Yeah. It's like, oh, walkthrough. To have AI fight at your castle when they come to try to claim your territory. Yeah, that's kind of one of those. It's yeah, the whole. That's one of the big sore spots in the game. The combat systems, like as a whole, are like have a lot of issues, but definitely like the main issue is with like engaging the combat. So, for example, like if someone's raiding your town or whatever, like the battlefield location could be in a completely random area that has no correlation to the battle or anything realistically. So a lot of the times, if you have a castle or something, it might not end up being in an area that you can actually utilize. So yeah, that is kind of a bit of a sore spot at the moment. So challenge, no import and no resource. Yeah, see that would be taking it. Yeah, that's taking it to the next level. Yeah, no trade and no resources. Yeah, that's a more extreme challenge for sure. Yeah, I've definitely thought about I've done a couple practice runs on a no trade at all run, no trade allowed, and then another one with like no resource deposits at all, like not even farming. And then I know we've talked about like militia only and stuff. And yeah, just to like, yeah, like honestly, guys, like I spend like hours like this last week. No videos came out this last week, but like I spent many hours trying to make videos. Just so you guys know, the game is just not in a good state. Like that's all I can say. Like I've scrapped so many recordings that I tried really hard on like trying to make something good come out, and the game is just so full of bugs and issues that it's just kind of impossible. So I've really tried making some other stuff that just didn't even pan out due to the state of the game, which is very unfortunate and sad. But I'm gonna keep trying my best. Can kite the enemy. Yeah, you can, like Baff said, you can with a little practice. You can kind of kite the enemies around, kind of try to force them to let go wherever you want. But yeah, it can be a little finicky. Yeah, it always looks nice when you have all the buildings at tier 3 and everything. Looks like a really nice town. Good goats. Enough footage to do a video on bugs. Yes, but yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the type of video I want to make, but yeah. Yeah, it's tough, dude. We'll keep trying, yeah. That's why I'm trying to focus more on topics that are not in those areas. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, guys, anything combat related right now, it's just not realistic, Or just understand, like, if there is any, like, combat related content that comes out, like, it might not be as good as my usual I really dislike, videos that are like, I don't know, like halfway through the playthrough and there's like a bunch of issues and then they just kind of like cut it off and then like piece it together or whatever. I don't know. I just kind of like don't really prefer that. So I try to like make them more cohesive and stuff. But yeah, it's a challenge in this game in particular. But yeah, I mean the town looks kind of nice. This one's not. This one's more of kind of like a grid, I guess, or not necessarily like a grid, but it's a bit more like a straight layout. The Goat Man. That's right. So I'm program. We walk through the town and admire the aesthetics. How much of this is from the developer, and how much is just checking a box in the coding program? You know, I mean, there's no simple answer to that, I guess. So, like, the aesthetic, like, graphics and stuff, this is, I mean, that's not necessarily, like, development. I would say on the, like, programming development side, like, the main thing that's, like, very impressive here is that it runs so smooth. And once again, that, I guess, is different for everyone. I don't know. I see comments all the time where people say that they have issues like with performance running Manor Lords. So, you know, I do have a pretty strong computer, so maybe it runs smooth just because I have a really good computer or something. I don't know, but you know, like the operation of everything, how it runs smooth and doesn't have like constant, you know, lag from the visuals and stuff like that is really good. Like they've definitely done, like, that is not simply just checking a box or whatever. That is definitely takes a lot of like tedious internal trial and error and settings and stuff like that to make sure that, you know, you have optimization, especially with like high level graphics and stuff like this. But yeah, as far as like yeah, like the lighting and like all the models and, you know what I mean, like all these textures and everything, like what we see for like the grass and like, you know, these like the flowers, the wheat fields, you know, all this stuff, the buildings, like everything that's like a physical, like a model in the game or whatever, that has absolutely nothing to do with development and programming or anything. Those are people that he hired, you know what I mean? Like 3D artists. So, but yeah, I mean, all these 3D artists and everything, like, absolutely incredible. But the way that they, you know, integrating all that into the game where they work without causing, like, big time, like, frame rate issues and stuff like that, that's huge on the, like, programming development side, which is very impressive on their end for sure. But yeah, as far as like all these like building models and the textures, the grass, all that kind of stuff, I mean, that has nothing to do with programming and developing. Those are 3D artists, which have done a fantastic job, obviously. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, built a pack of assets. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're back down to 98%. No. Yeah, and we're just so you guys know too, if anyone was wondering, we're in the middle region here in Winding River, which kind of is like a bit more. It's like a bit of an additional handicap in the sense of like we're kind of far away from like trade points. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, our trade is also really strong, of course, but it could be even stronger, like if we were really close to those trade points or whatever, for example. But yeah, it's still good. Other than the graphics, the underhood stuff for resource management, absolutely, yeah, no doubt, yeah, absolutely, yeah. All these resources and stuff, I'm sure they got data tables on data tables, dude. All these different categories and everything. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Kenny, what's up? Yeah, you've been enjoying your Manor Lords games. When you play this new save through, you'll wait for the new stuff. Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, there's always that's always a thing, right? It's kind of like, since it's in a kind of a constant state of change, it's always kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, do you feel like getting back into it right now or waiting for the next, you know, update or whatever? But then it's kind of like, well, you know, the next update, then there's always going to be a next update kind of thing, I guess, right? So But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. Any other questions with the approval or anything about this town, guys? We pretty much showed most of the stuff here, and you know, like we said, it's all about just having those tier 3 houses, guys, and getting them completely maxed out, which is which is not a small task. I mean, look at this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 categories here need to be fulfilled. I mean, that's a lot of stuff, right? And not to mention for 76 different families, right? I mean, we have 36 tier 3 houses that have to have 15 approval requirements fulfilled on each house. So that it's no small task. So honestly, like if you guys have been thinking about trying to go for the I think it's called the Cheerful Metropolis, or even if you've gotten it in the past, like for myself, I got this achievement in like June of 2024 or whatever. But when I think back about when I got this achievement, it was nothing like this one. I'm pretty sure I had a town where like half the houses in the town were still tier 1, you know what I mean? And the approval system was just like different back then, where, you know, even if you had tier 1 houses that had like basic requirements, your approval would just continuously go up, you know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend. This is a cool little challenge. Even just do it regular. You don't even need to do like challenging settings or do some crazy like no resources, whatever. But even just a regular playthrough, get up to that 100% approval is a cool little challenge right now, I would say, to get to that Cheerful Metropolis achievement, because it's a bit more of a task now, right? Like I said beforehand, it was literally just like slap down some level 1 houses and give them like firewood and food and a church, and then like eventually you'll get to 100%. So a bit more of a cool challenge here. So, and then yeah, like you said, like I saw mentioned earlier too, yeah, if you guys go for this one, Smiths of Passau, you can get an approval bonus here for like if you have militias that are equipped with like, you know, all the, I don't know, like weapons and whatever they need, then you get a little approval boost from that too. I think that's the only approval boost that you can get, right? I don't think there's any other perk at the moment that gives an approval boost. Maybe there will be in some of these other ones coming up, but yeah. Yeah, so to answer your question, we do not. No, we do not have that. We have Woodwright Journeyman here, yeah. Yeah, this town is a... if you want to see this town being created, in the pinned comment there, this is just a town that we did in a live stream a couple weeks back. And we just did farming only. We didn't use any resource deposits here, and we just have the Woodwright Journeyman perk, so there's no increase on approval here or anything like that. You're actually combining... Nice. Nice, heck yeah. Yeah, that's cool too. If you can knock out multiple achievements at once, that's awesome. Cheerful Metropolis and the Merchant. There you go. Nice, nice, nice. Yep, if you're able to do that, even better. You think they repositioned the map? Oh. I see what you're saying, Bath. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I definitely always want to think about the sun for the sunrises and sunsets. Those are peak. Smallholders has a bonus too? Does it? Oh, increased approval from food variety. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. There's another really good option right here too, yeah. Plus 10% approval from food variety. Yeah. So you got a couple options here. Bamberg Smallholders or the Smiths of Passau, if you want to get a little bit of a boost towards reaching that achievement. That's another good option too. If you don't want to try to do it the hard way, I guess. Info Mole Rat's in the house. What's up, dude? Gives you like 15%. And even more in Lingering Memories. Wow. You mean for the Smiths of Passau one? Or for the Smallholders one? Or both? That's pretty wild. Alright. since we're pretty much chilling here on this one, guys, we knocked that out. Unless there's any more, questions or whatever, we'll probably go back to our town that we had started last week and do a little bit more on that one. On the top left region of Lake Lim. Oh, we're talking about Smith of Passau. Gives you about 15% approval. That's massive. Even more on Linger Memories. Yeah, that's a huge increase. Okay, so this was the town that we had started last weekend in the live stream from last weekend. That town in the top left region of Lake Lim, where we were just making like a nice aesthetic, cool town. We had the lakefront property. Alright, welcome back. This is the town that we started last weekend. On the top left region of Lake Lim. We've got the lakefront property over here. We've got our nice, beautiful gardens and housing and views. This town was looking quite nice. The hard way would be to have tax. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, if you're well, I mean, if you're taxing, it's impossible. I mean, you guys could see for yourselves. I mean, you're kind of teeter-tottering between 99% and 100% there without even having a manor or taxing at all. So it's literally impossible to get 100% approval with taxing, unless you have one of those perk options or whatever, I guess. Cool. Yeah, so we just did we just planted some crops because we just harvested and planted some crops, yep. Okay. And let's see. We've got a ton of food. Wow, yeah, we have a ton of food. Crazy amount of food. Firewood, charcoal. Okay, so this town is looking good already. I think we had a clay deposit over here, yep. Okay. So I think we were thinking about, we want to get the church upgraded, and then we'll start producing ale. Oh, that's right. So we were going to put the, we harvested barley, that's right. So we were going to put in the brewery, and malt. Did we get the malt house yet, or do we need that? I think we need the malt house. We hadn't put the malt house yet. Okay, so we'll put malt house. It would be like better not so far away, but also I don't want to disturb our layout too much. That one should be fine right there. Alright, so we have barley. We'll start producing, and we put in our tavern over here. Remember, we planted a little garden, and like we fenced off the tavern and planted some trees over here and stuff. So we got our tavern ready, and then we're putting in our brewery. And we'll soon have ale. Nice. You redid the circle run, dude? You're a madman, dude. I have to see the pictures of that. I'm like so intrigued with that. You'll not find finer ways anywhere else. Hell yeah. What's up, Waker? Same exact question you said. Exactly, I remember you asked that, so I got you. That's right, dude. You spent countless hours trying to get 100 approval. It's impossible. Well, it's not impossible. We just got to 100%. Oh, but I don't know if you're just tuning in, Boyker. I don't know how, if maybe did you just get here? Sorry, I apologize if you just got here. We just switched over from, we did the first For the first like 2 hours there, we were working on one of our towns that I had done previously, where we went up to 100% approval. So if you missed that, once this VOD gets once we're done here, it'll get uploaded onto the channel, and you can go back and watch it if you'd like. You can do the taxing with 100% approval. Right, yeah. If you have a perk, yeah. But I think if you don't have a perk, if you don't have one of those approval perks, then it's impossible to get 100% approval while taxing. I'm going to upgrade both of these houses to tier 2 so that they have an increased storage capacity for when they're harvesting all that stuff. But yeah, we're going to start producing ale here. Okay, malt house is coming in. Okay, we're done. Well, we don't need all these people in the farmhouse anymore. We had a large farming task going on there recently, so we'll get back to other stuff. Which is going to be definitely producing beer. Did we get... Let's get a tannery as well, because we also are starting to rack up hides. We had some goat pens in the backyards, and we're starting to get hides ready. So we'll go tannery. Just put that somewhere over here. That'll be fine. You just joined. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, make sure when we're done here. Yeah, sorry, you missed that, Breaker. Yeah, we did that for the first like 2 hours. We had a town that we had made like a few weeks back where we did like a farming only challenge town. Got to the max settlement level, and so I reopened that one, and we just made sure to get to the 100% approval. Long story short is that we upgraded every single house in the town to tier 3, and we had every single thing taken care of. Like each level 3 house has 15 checkboxes for food and fuel and church and everything. Every single thing checked on every single house, and every single house was tier 3. Didn't have any tier 2 or tier 1 housing. You have technical difficulties with the Discord. Your other account is suspect. What happened here? You get flagged? Oh man, you're getting flagged. Bot account. What's going on here? Info Molnar is trying to infiltrate the Discord with his hacking account. Is there any reason to build a blacksmith building or communal ovens? Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe Baff. I guess maybe like Baff said, he's able to get the approval to 100% while doing the tax. Yeah, I don't know. He's a madman. Baff and Info Molrat, these guys are black belts of Manor Lords. If you guys see them, say they're better than me at the game. So if you guys see them answering your questions in the chat, definitely, I would definitely take their advice. Yeah, so as far as the blacksmith or communal oven, so it depends on like if you're able to get the artisan, like if you're able to get the houses constructed and like leveled up to be able to put the artisans extensions and stuff, you know. Of course, you can produce tools without, you don't need a blacksmith extension to be able to like produce iron and produce tools, you know what I mean? So I would say the only reason I would ever add a blacksmithing extension is if I had like a rich iron deposit in the region and I was like producing military equipment and all kinds of stuff like that, you know. But just for like typical, like, you know, typical town needs, like for tools, I would not go for a blacksmithing extension. And as far as the communal oven, you definitely, if you're able to get a backyard extension with the bakery up, that's obviously going to be like the most ideal by far, because you're you know, obviously you're going to get twice as much bread from your grain. So that one I would say, yeah, like don't use the communal oven if you're able to get at least one house like upgraded and get the bakery extension. But that being said, like if you're, especially if you're doing like an early farming harvest and maybe you're not at the point where you have housing ready to be upgraded or whatever, definitely feel free to use the communal oven. You know what I mean? It's still good to use. It's really good in particular, like I said, for like while you're getting established, before you're able to have your houses ready to be upgraded and artisans, maybe you don't have the labor, whatever it is. So yeah, communal ovens are going to be great for that. So it just depends, on what stage are you at in your town, and do you have the labor available? How much farming are you doing? Like a large farming setup, or maybe smaller setup, whatever. But yeah, typically the bakery is going to be highly preferred, of course. There will come a new patch. There will come a new batch that will make best for a communal oven. Oh yeah, like we reviewed. Yeah, if you guys saw like the development update that's coming or whatever. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see. All that stuff's still not like confirmed or whatever. But yeah, they talked about adding like a new tier of housing where something like the bakery extension is going to be like you won't, instead of like 1 through 3, you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 right now for housing. It's going to be 4 tiers: tier 1, 2, 3, 4. And so right now, for example, you can get like any artisan extension at tier 2. You can get blacksmith, bakery, whatever. But they're planning supposedly on kind of like redistributing them a little bit more. So something like the bakery, you're not going to be able to get at tier 2 anymore. It'll be at the new like tier 3 or tier 2.5, whatever the heck they're calling it. So the bakery will be a little bit harder to get to, you know what I mean? So I think like their thought process on that is like, to try to encourage using the communal oven more, especially in the earlier stages before you're able to upgrade your town more and stuff like that, which makes sense. So yeah, long story short, use the communal oven if you have to. If you don't have the option for a bakery housing extension yet, definitely use the communal oven. But if you're able to get a bakery extension up, then that is highly preferred. Bakery extension bis. If you remember the image you posted, our 2 traders were chatting for 7 years, got 100% approval for ages. That was version, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't know if they changed, who knows, right, with what's been changed since 0.46, but yeah. Jan Palak, what's up? You got a question? Can you use horses in the village, or you have to use oxes, and horses are only for trade purposes? Yeah, basically, yeah. Horses are only for trade. Yeah. They're not going to help you like transport goods around the town or anything like that. Yeah, they're pretty much only for trade, and only for now. In the near future, we probably won't be able to use horses for trade. We probably won't be able to use horses for anything in the near future, unfortunately. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, for now, horses, they can and should be used for trade. Yeah, by the way, if you're, maybe newer, learning about trade and stuff, horses are massive. You got to make sure horses are going to by far be probably your biggest like income for your town, for your workers that take the bulk loads of supplies to the trade points. Those are probably going to be like your main source of income right there. Yo, what's up, Strat in the house? What's going on, dude? How are you? Good to hear from you, dude. Happy Sunday. Hope you and your family are doing well. Thanks for popping in and supporting the stream, dude. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, we did the 100% approval already in the first couple hours. We did that in another town. We're back to another little town that we started last weekend just for fun. Nice little aesthetic setup or whatever. But yeah, we did the 100% approval thing earlier in the stream. Got that all taken care of. It's real good to import wheat and making forward breads from it. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely, Boyker. Yeah. Yep. I have a whole video dedicated to basically bread and how good bread is. Yeah, basically, bread is incredibly powerful. That's one of the like if you're low on food or if you need like more food variety or whatever it is, importing grain and producing bread at a bakery extension is by far the most bang for your buck that you can do. So you import like one, for example, one like one wheat grain, for example, or one wheat flour, or whatever, 13 or 14 regional corn, whatever, and you're gonna get 4 wheat bread from this. So you can actually make profit. This is like one of the only things in the game that you can import. I think actually it is the only thing in the game that you can actually import the resources for, craft the craft the material that it's actually supposed to be made into, and then flip it for profit. Because you're going to make 4 wheat breads if you have the bakery extension, which are then worth 5 regional wealth each, right? So you're gonna if you spend 14 regional coin on a wheat flour, for example, you're gonna make wheat bread that's worth 20 regional coin. So you could actually feed your town and sell some of it back and basically be getting food for free or whatever. You could tackle that a few different ways, but yeah, wheat bread is like by far the most powerful. Also, I mean, rye is also pretty good too, but yeah, wheat's gonna give you, that's like the most powerful thing. Oh, you're sick, but fam is good? Trying to stay away from everyone? Oh, gosh. Dang, dude.
Come one, come all.
Well, hope you feel better, man.
Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Glad to hear it's still doable. Yeah, it was doable, but it was like we literally had to have every single house at level 3 and with every single requirement taken care of. So it's like it's a pretty big ask, I think, in the current stage of the game. And even then, like when we had everything, it kind of was like teetering between like 99% and 100. It doesn't stay at 100% for long, or at least what we had saw earlier. Yeah, bakery OP, dude. Whatever happened to the dyes? That's a good question. I know, right? I guess they didn't feel like we didn't need color, like coloring for our clothing anymore or whatever. Is there another building for that?
So fresh, you'll swear they was
Another building for what? Sorry.
Don't be shy, good sirs and ladies.
How would you make weapons if no backyard blacksmith? Oh, yeah, no. So you can't. Yeah, you need if you want to make weapons, you do need a backyard blacksmith. Yes. Okay, you can't. There's no
Firewood.
like the standard like smithy building only makes tools. You can't make weapons. Yeah, so you need a backyard extension if you want to make weapons. Specifically,
You'll not
yes.
find finer wares anywhere else. Step right up and sample.
Yeah, we made it. That's right. Mic drop. That's right, baby.
Poor quality, he said. Impossible.
What's the bonus for the highest tier?
Feast your eyes on
You mean like the approval bonus that you get, like for having tier 3 houses or whatever? Honestly, I don't really know. Like, I'll be honest, bro. I kind of gave up on like, I really don't focus. I try not to focus on like anything related to like numbers and stuff because this game is just a catastrophe as far as like, stuff like that. So I really don't know. Yeah, honestly, like what is the like the amount that you gain per like tier 3 house or anything like that. All I know is that we pretty much we only were able to get there by having like literally every single house completely maxed out with every single thing taken care of. But there are a couple of perks that you can utilize. You can use the Bamberg smallholders, and that gives you a 10% approval bonus from food variety. Or you could use the Smiths of Passau, and that gives you, I think Infomolrat was saying it can give you up to like 15% approval bonus from having like militia, some like militia companies like all fully like staffed and equipped or whatever. But We didn't have either of those. We just had like a regular perk, but it's yeah. Why is level 3 housing necessary?
Don't be shy.
And your research level 3 should be enough? Wait, I don't understand your question, Breaker. Why is level 3 housing necessary and your research level 3 should be enough? I don't understand the question. What you really miss in this game is some useful tooltips. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. I mean, there is some information here. If you go down here to the question mark, the help tab, and you go to the resources tab, there is some, like, for example, you know, if we click on wooden parts right here, it'll tell us required for crafting 2 planks. So, you know, you can go in here and kind of get some of that information, although I know what you're talking about. Some of these things, some things tell you and some don't. Like, for example, ale. This tells you, like, produces 1 ale from 1 malt, you know, and that's cool and all. And then you come to the brewery and whatever. Nowhere on here does it tell us that this produces 2 ale from 1 malt. And I can tell you for a fact that the brewery extension produces 2 ale from 1 malt. So yeah, there's no tooltip anywhere that tells us that, which is completely absurd. So yeah, I totally agree. They obviously, this is another thing that they need to fix and whatever, to add that to the list, right? So yeah, but there is some things, if you go to the help tab and the resources tab, some of these things will give you some information on, you know, the production requirements and stuff like that. But yeah, there is some parts that are missing, of course, which is annoying.
Come one, come all. Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Did we need any specific origin? No, we didn't have any particular origin for the 100%. No, we had Woodwright Journeyman in that one. Yeah.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Yep, yeah, and like Baff said, as many food variety is huge, and you know they're kind of like constantly be like consuming it. So you know you want to make sure that you're just continuously getting more and more food. You know. Oh, tier 2 should be enough for approval purposes. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know whether it should or shouldn't, like on paper. All I know is what we can observe from our own experiences, which seems like it pretty much requires full tier 3. So at least if you don't have any perk that's improving the approval otherwise. But yeah.
Carrots, cabbages, turnips.
Yeah, with the Smiths of Paso, you get the lingering memories too. Yeah, I think you were saying like you can get even more than 15% from that with the lingering memories adding up to, which is crazy. Sorry, someone asked earlier for 00. Sorry, ideas for a reason that has stone and iron rich deposit. Yeah, dude, you're well. Actually, so to answer your question, I would honestly, the answers are going to be in here. So the answers are going to be there in that guide. So the current updated economy and max profit guide here on the channel will tell you what are the best items to sell for each particular situation. If you have, you know, rich iron, or if you have rich stone, if you want to use this, you know, the Vokland perk, or if you want to use the Woodwright Journeyman perk or whatever. Definitely check out that guide if you want to know about more about you know, best approaches for like different types of resource layouts or whatever.
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Yeah, and so yeah, you imported. Yeah, exactly. So using your power of economy is going to be a big part of that too. So your power of economy, so you should always have a strong economy. To be honest, in every playthrough, if you follow the information from that guide or whatever, you should really never have an issue with having a strong economy. And you know, once you're like really well established and stuff, you can just kind of, like we did earlier in the 100% approval in the first couple hours that we did that, you know, and that one I had an additional self-imposed challenge where I was not allowing myself to gather any resource deposits. So we just went ahead and imported at the trading post, like, you know, some berries and mushrooms, some forage goods, you know, stuff that we needed that we weren't able to get ourselves. We just went ahead and imported at the trading post. So the market will stop stocking additional food items once it feels like it has enough.
Vegetables so fresh.
Well, I mean, so, like, if you have more food types around that you're noticing aren't getting to the marketplace, it's most likely that you need to add another granary stall. You know what I mean? You run to the game say that people consume honey? Yeah, honey should not... That... It's probably bugged right now. But yeah, honey should not be... Honey is no longer a food item. It's a crafting material. It's going to be used for creating, like, cider or mead or whatever. But yeah, who knows? It probably still is being consumed or whatever. But yeah, honey is supposed to be just a crafting material right now. A crafting material for an item that's, you know, not in the game. But, yep. Best militia units. Yeah, best militia units. I mean, you got some options. Crossbowmen are like, if you know, as far as probably just the most powerful crossbowmen are just like cracked. They're so strong. Bit more expensive and stuff to get produced, of course. But I generally like to go with just spearmen and you know, either archers or crossbowmen. And I like that the spearmen have, they have like the shield wall, so I like to put them on defensive and use the shield wall so that they're really formidable defensively. And I just use the, like the spear militia or whatever melee units as kind of the defense, and then use the archers or crossbowmen or whatever more as the damage. So I kind of typically like just, honestly, just the spearmen and either archers or crossbowmen, depending what I'm able to get. But spearmen are usually, you know, pretty standard. Cheap and easy to make, whatever, so. But you can use all of them, honestly. I mean, they're all, you know, they're all fine. Like, the militia footmen are kind of similar to the spearmen. They also have, like, the shield wall and stuff. The polearm ones are, they're not defensive really at all. But they do a lot of damage. So if you already have, like, a few defensive units, then you could make, like, a militia of polearm, for example. But definitely, I like to make sure that, you know, most of my melee units are like defensive type of units. Yeah. Might be better to just sell. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%, Kenny. Yeah, if you have apiaries and you're producing honey and wax, sell the honey and wax 100%. That is literally all it's good for right now. Honey and wax is literally only useful for trade income right now. It has zero other purpose at the moment. So yeah, absolutely sell it. And you're going to get really good profits from it if you use the Vogtland perk like we've talked about many times as well. Yeah, like Infomorad said, yeah, exactly. It's not food, but it is OP because the trade values for honey and wax are really strong, yeah. Yeah, are the polearm men many good? Yeah, like I said, the polearm men are really good as far, like, they do a lot of damage. The polearm guys do a lot of damage, but they also take a lot of damage. So, like I said, I would only really get polearms if you already have, like, other defensive units. But yeah, if the polearms are all you have for your melee and they get, like, you know, charged on by some other melee units, they're probably going to get destroyed. But if you're able to use your polearms in a similar way like the archers, where you kind of have them free and rotating and flank the enemies or whatever, then they're going to do a ton of damage. But you don't want them to be like on the front line, for example. Good for flanking. Exactly, yes. The polearms, that's what you want to flank with. Exactly. Yep, there you go. There you go, Boyker. That's a massive setup too. Yep, we've covered that one too. We did a whole butcher setup as well, where we reviewed all the benefits of like the salt and sausages and everything. Absolutely massive, yeah. Honestly, that's like an S tier option in my opinion. If like fertility is is the top option. Fertility is definitely the best.
Rise.
But I'd say the second best is having a rich salt deposit and doing the like sausage thing and all that. Yeah, that's like incredibly strong too. Yes. Well, it doesn't show us any information without us. We don't get the information without them like being like equipped and stuff. But yeah. Separate markets for storehouse and granaries. Yeah. Yep. Yep, sausage and shoes, baby. That's the big time right there. You're going to be swimming in gold if you're selling sausage and shoes, seriously. Dude, I really love this over here. Side note, dude. I don't know why, but there is just something incredibly special about, like, this little, like, fenced, like, cliffside ridge with the farm fields over here and stuff. Like, why is this so cool? We need actual fences now. This is awesome. You can assign a number to any unit. Yep, absolutely. You can control group your military companies or whatever. What's the best use of rich fertility? Yeah, bread for sure. Bread and gambesons and ale and stuff. Yeah. Once again, all of this stuff is covered like in detail on the economy and max profits guide. So I would definitely suggest that you guys check that out if you are interested in more of the specific information on that kind of stuff. Spent a lot of time putting that one together in a highly organized and edited fashion. Dude, the sheep fences are amazing, right? But yeah, basically you want to sell, if you have fertility, bread is the highest. You're gonna make so much money on selling wheat bread in particular, yeah. But then also gambesons from flax, and then extra ale from like barley too, yeah, yeah. Before you moved to this town, what's the internet like, dude? We got fiber. We got 5G fiber in here. This is the next level medieval era. When it gets a charge bonus. Gotcha. Yeah, we can load up another town real quick that has militias and take a look at that. Do we have a video on this? You mean like on this town where we're in right now? This town that we're in right now, we started in the last weekend's live stream, yeah. And all those VODs are here on the channel. So yeah, if you want to see like the start of this town, this one's on the was our live stream from last weekend. And we'll do some more here. We've just been kind of yapping, but the fences are great, dude, honestly. How should you farm with the cycles? I don't really like using the farming cycle things, the crop rotation cycles. I like to turn them over manually. We've done that a few times, but like it's all personal preference and depends on like your setup too. Like if you have overlap on the land where there's like multiple layers of fertility for different types of crops, then you can do a crop rotation no problem. Personally, I just kind of like to rotate them manually just cuz I feel like I have more control and whatever over them, but yeah. How did we get the fence on that side of the road? Yeah, they're just like sheep pastures. It's the same technique that I showed in the aesthetic town design guide. Yeah, and then once again, like this is all. If you want to see this, this was in the VOD from the last week's live stream. Yeah, farming tutorial. Yeah, I know. I hear you. It's definitely been on the list for a while. It's just one of those things. Oh, we're trapped in here. Let me out. We're trapped with our sheep. Oh, these poor sheep. This is all the space they get. You enjoying your free grazing space? Oh, yeah. Medieval PETA is going to be coming in hot here. They're going to be shutting us down any minute. We got to keep this on the down low, guys. But yeah, you just go farming, pasture, for like the sheep pastures. And it's a bit like you got to kind of mess with it a little bit, you know what I mean? So you got to like mess with like either having the snap to road tool on or off, and you just kind of like drag them, you know, like that, for example, and then like turn off the snap to road tool, for example, and then just like bring the placement points like back to each other. But it's going to be like take some trial and error, you know, sometimes it won't want to work. But like something like that is going to be good. And then see, there we go, we got a fence. So yeah, we just have fencing like that, but it's not like actually meant to be fencing, but we're just using it like that because they don't actually have decorations in the game. Yeah, see, so we just have like some fencing here, you know, lined along the roads or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and for sure, if you guys, these are all techniques that town design. These are all techniques that I shared in the recent, like, aesthetic town design guide, and show some, like, decoration techniques and stuff that you can use. Stuff like the fencing, or like these right here where you have, like, basically these, like, flower beds, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Manor Lords is the fickle mistress. It gives us too much grief, but we keep coming back for more. I know, right? We're all, what's the word? We're all masochists, you know? We're a bunch of masochists here. Medieval masochists. Yeah, farming tutorials definitely on the list. I would highly recommend, like, if you guys are interested in like learning a bit more about farming, like for now, and then like also at the same time you could see the perspective of like the town that we showed in the first couple hours where we did the approval, 100% approval on that farming only town. Once again, that is also another VOD here on the channel from a previous live stream. So if you want to go back and watch that one too, that shows the full process of how we laid out that town, all the fields, like how we laid them out, how we set up the crop rotations, etc. You know, how we did the quick harvest during the first year since we weren't able to get food otherwise, stuff like that. That's all going to be in that from that stream for sure. But I do have plans for like a, you know, formatted, edited, focused guide for farming. I have plans for a lot of guides, to be honest. It's just the guides are really hard, guys. Like the specific, like, formatted, edited guides with all the like specific information and all that kind of stuff. It's really tough. It's really tough to do for these games, or for this game in particular. I've been doing my best trying to, like, honestly, I spent many hours this week working on. I have no video to show for it. I have nothing to show for it. But I mean, I spent hours this week like working on stuff, trying to prepare some stuff, and it just, yeah, just kept running into all kinds of issues and whatever. But yeah, it's tough. I feel like I also kind of maybe need to lower my standards a little bit. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's a different conversation, I guess. But. But yeah, definitely have a lot of farming information, just not necessarily in a like formatted, focused guide. But yeah, one of the best sources right now, I would say, If you go back and watch that live stream, I think I linked it earlier in the chat, but I can link it again. But that it's the town that it was the process of making the town that we were just on for the approval portion, and that town was a farming only town. So we went through all the farming stuff basically in that one, you know. But just for some kind of like quick tips on farming. So first of all, and this is not going to be a good example here because right here we're like kind of prioritizing like aesthetics and whatever, you know what I mean? We're just kind of like having fun. But for a more like efficient farming layout, I don't know if you guys noticed, like in the town that we were on before, the farming only town, all the fields were kind of like in long rectangular strips. That's going to be the best way. You want to make sure that they're like as evenly sized and, you know, like placed as possible. You don't want to have like these type of layouts like this where it has like these like curved edges and stuff on the fields. Not good for efficiency. Once again, right here, we don't really care because we're just kind of enjoying the aesthetics and whatever. But if you're trying to do like efficiency farming, you definitely want to make sure you have like evenly placed like long strips of fields. You don't want to have curved edges or wonky shapes or anything like that. It really impacts their like productivity of like sowing and plowing and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, you just want to make sure you like I said, I prefer to manually rotate the crops, but you could do a crop rotation if you have multiple layers of fertility. So like here we have like in this region we have good fertility. So like over here there's like, say there's like strong flax, barley, wheat, rye, like, so we have like overlap of like kind of rich fertility for several different types of crops. So we could do a crop rotation and just kind of like rotate through different ones. But if you don't have rich fertility and say you're like, oh, I only have like a little area that's like pretty much only good for like wheat or whatever, then you're going to want to make sure you do like a manual rotation. You're probably going to need to let the fields maybe like fallow for, you know, 1 year off, 1 year on kind of thing, something like that. Personally, regardless of the situation, I like to just manually assign the fields for each window, but a bit of just a preference there. Same thing happened with the animal trading post with selling sheep. 1 or 2 died because the post was on high elevation. Oh no, you had a new annoying thing this morning. Sheep were on high elevation, but the sheep farm. What? That's crazy. Ah, gosh. Elevation problems. Head starting farm starting to plow in August. Yeah, true. Like Info Molrat said, yeah, true. And I guess kind of to the point of what Molrat's saying is, you can get ahead on like the plowing portions and stuff if the fields are just either fallow or not set yet with anything. And you could do that at any point throughout the year, not necessarily only August, but yeah, like you could pre-do that pretty much at any point throughout the year, and like just kind of get like the plowing stuff done, and then that way they're like already ahead of the curb, and then they'll be able to like get it planted and stuff real easy. Just looking for details on the 100% approval. Oh, hey, what's up, Malrat? Welcome in. Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, we started the stream. We do, if you guys are just tuning in, maybe you're new to the channel or whatever. I have a ton of, my channel is like pretty much 95% Manor Lords content, and mostly like guides and, you know, helpful walkthroughs and, you know, all kinds of information and stuff like that. So definitely, you know, I invite you to spend some time here on the channel and check out some of those guides and stuff. But if you're just tuning in as well, we did for the first like 2 hours of the stream, and we do these streams every Sunday, by the way, guys, every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, West Coast USA time, starting at 9:30 a.m. every Sunday. And we always do, you know, like challenges or fun town designs, or, you know, just chat, Q&A, whatever. But yeah, for the first 2 hours of the stream here, we did the process of taking a town from the max settlement level up to 100% approval. So you can definitely feel free to go back. All of the live stream VODs do get uploaded here to the channel when we're all done. But it seems like there's a few people hopping in now that maybe weren't here earlier. We'll just load back into that one real quick. I saved this one from my own earlier when I had gotten 100% approval. But just to show you guys real quick, just a quick review here. And once again, this is a town that we had done on a previous live stream from scratch, where we did farming only. We didn't use any resource deposits. It was a farming only challenge. And we reached the max settlement level, and then we just started from there and did whatever else we needed to do to get up to the 100% approval without using any additional bonuses from like origin perks or anything like that. But yeah, long story short, guys, is you're going to need maximum tier 3 houses with everything taken care of. So this is the town here. As you can see, I had saved it. This is when I had practiced on my own earlier in the week, but I had saved it here at just so you can see 100% approval. But yeah, basically you gotta have like all of the houses in the town. See, like they all gotta be like tier 3 like this with every single thing fulfilled. So I mean, you got 15 requirements here. 15 total requirements. So every single house needs to have all of this stuff taken care of. So in this town, you know, like I said, it was just farming only. So we had a very strong economy with like, you know, we're selling a ton of wheat bread. I know you guys were asking maybe earlier, what should I, you know, to give you a visual example here, look how much money we made from selling wheat bread in this town. Right? I mean, that speaks for itself. So yeah, and we're just selling like excess ale from like barley that we're producing. And then once again, we had the Woodwright Journeyman in this town. So we were selling like small shields, and we were selling gambesons from excess flax and stuff. But yeah, and shoes, you know, the standard shoes, whatever. So, you know, but then we were also purchasing, as you can see, we were purchasing berries, mushrooms, things that we needed in addition, because since we weren't able to like gather the berries or mushrooms, for example, I just went ahead and imported those to cover like this forage goods requirement here. And you know, as you can see, I mean, we've got plenty of, you know, our economy's so strong just from, you know, like I showed you on the records tab there, that we were just like, okay, what do we need? We need forage goods. Let's go ahead and import some berries and mushrooms, right? Do we need more meat? Let's go ahead and import whatever, right? So honestly, like, your economy is going to help you out massively. As far as like, you know, when you're in this like later stage, you have your large town already set up, everything's established, yada yada yada. This is what's going to help you the most, is having a strong economy so that you can supplement whatever. If you're like, oh, I'm running low on, I'm not producing enough ale, I'm not producing enough whatever, you just supplement it with your economy importing stuff. Yeah, and once again, just to show here, we have the Woodwright Journeyman perk, which has no impact on the approval at all. So we're full natty, bro, 100% full natty. But yeah, as you guys can see, it's a bit of a hefty process as far as, you know, you got to cover a lot of things here, and for a lot of different houses. So yeah, and here we have 2 different markets. We have a total of we have a total of 11 food stalls and 10 storehouse stalls. So 21 stalls between the 2 of them. I just have a little bit of overstock here, just to give you guys a little perspective on you know, the market distribution and stuff. So we have two storehouses. See, here's our 2 marketplaces right here, and we've got storehouse, granary. So we've got 2 granaries, 2 storehouses, 2 markets all right here. And you know, that's kind of the overview of it. Like I said, if you want to see more of the actual process of doing all this, make sure you go back once we finish up the stream here. You can go back. All of the streams that we do on the channel will get uploaded onto the channel, that you can go back and watch and everything if you want to see, you know, more of the process. And then, like I said too, if you want to see the entire process from start to finish of that entire town from square one all the way up, you can go back and watch the other the previous live stream from when we started that town from the beginning and everything. Did you notice the snap to road tool? 100%. If I'm alright, it definitely used to be better. Yes, like many other things in the game that used to be better, right? The Barons AI, the military AI, the snap to road tool, the housing snapping thingy, all that stuff used to be better. Yeah. Yep. Sad. Big sad. Big sad. Make snap road to road great again. That's right. Gonna fill a rat friend. That's right. Mall rat and info mole. Oh, mole rat and mall rat. That's right. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. You guys are two peas in a pod. Multiple farmhouses. You can get the harvest done and collected before October. Yeah, absolutely. And two, Boyker, having multiple farmhouses is also good because then you can assign more oxen to them too. You know what I mean? Because for whatever reason, each farmhouse can only have like 2 ox or whatever, right? So if you want to have more oxen, then you got to have more farmhouses, right? So that's another benefit with having multiple farmhouses and stuff. Yeah. How much fertility to be worth your time? Honestly, even if you just have like a small, like even if you don't have rich fertility in the region and you just have like some small patches that are okay for like rye and wheat and stuff, I would still use those. You know what I mean? Utilize whatever fertility you have, even if it's not like a full farming setup. I would utilize whatever, even if it's just like a small patch of rye or whatever. I would use that. It's still good to use, yeah. Ba-da-da-da. Oh, you're a news era. You bought the game like 3 weeks ago. Oh, nice. Supposed to most of the time watching vids. Yeah, gotcha. Well, now you're going to be an expert. Now when you hop in, you're going to be ready. You're going to be really ready. Yeah, I know they made the snapping thing worse. It's a travesty. It's a tragedy. KNR. You found that the CNR. You found that the vegetable requirement can be fulfilled by growing 2 different types of crops like carrots and cabbages or beets. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that is correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of the recent overhaul. This is definitely a positive. This is the type of, adjustment and update that in my eyes was very positive, where it's like, we're not just going to give you veggies, we're going to give you different varieties of veggies, right? So on this one we have carrots, but on this one we could plant, cabbages or beets or whatever. And then we have variety. Food variety is very important. Like Bath mentioned, we've been mentioned a few times, food variety, very important. So like here, another example, we've got 2 orchards. This orchard has apples, and this orchard has pears. See, so we're getting... And we can see here on our fruit section, we have some pears and we have some apples. So we actually have we have 2 different types of fruits right now. So, like, none of these houses are requiring, like, multiple types of fruits yet. But, like, once they get upgraded, then they want multiple types of fruit or whatever. Then it's like, cool, we got pears and we got apples, right? So, yeah, absolutely. The backyard extensions with the orchards and the veggie gardens are going to be one of your main avenues for supplying that variety. Absolutely. All right, looks like we got ale in the town now. We'll go ahead and staff up our tavern. Let's upgrade the tavern too. We got ale now. We got clothes and ale. So what else do they need? Well, they'll get the ale once the tavern gets staffed. So we just need to upgrade the church. Okay, so I know we have the roof tiles, and we don't have rich stone in this region, so we're going to need import the dress stone that we need, or rough stone, and turn it into dress stone. So let's go ahead and set that up. So we'll go rough stone, import 20, because we need 20 rough stone that we're going to turn into dress stone to be able to upgrade the church. So we'll just put a stonemason station somewhere. This is just temporary. Get that done, and we'll do a lime kiln as well. Once again, temporary, for just getting the mortar that we need. You don't want to volunteer to be the fishing manager? Come on, Smarties, you did such a good job before. You definitely didn't get blamed for all the town's issues. No. I think we actually don't have a fisherman assigned right now, so yeah, let's get on that.
Find finer wares anywhere else.
Yeah, no worries. No worries, Mallrat. Yeah, welcome to the Manor Lords rabbit hole. That's right. I pray for you. I will pray for you. Yeah, everyone say a quick prayer for Zira. 07. We salute you. For your orchard workers, do we keep them unassigned? Yeah, so the orchard worker, so similar like we discussed earlier, right, with the veggie workers, where it's like, you know, you want to make sure that they're like, you can see here on this veggie plot, I've got one of them assigned as a grave digger, which means basically they're not going to do anything other than farming tasks, because they're never going to really have any bodies to bury, unless we got raided and, you know, there's dead bodies around. And then this guy's a carpenter, which is the saw pit, which is one of the most ideal tasks to assign for someone on a veggie farm or whatever, because only the husband works at the saw pit. And that doesn't impact the veggie farm. So on the veggie farms, it's only the wife and the son that'll actually do like plowing and sowing and all that kind of stuff. So any type of job that only requires the husband is going to be good. So like the saw pit, for example, only the husband will go to work at the saw pit. So that's a great task to have like a veggie farmer assigned to. That's not going to impact their farming tasks, and then they're still producing planks. Otherwise, yeah, you can see like these guys, I just have them as a grave digger. But that's for veggies, which are more labor intensive. But for orchard, so orchards are different because they do require full attention, but only for 1 month out of the year. So only during the September month. So similar to like, you know, when your farming harvest comes up or whatever, the orchards are the same, where they can only be harvested during September. So I try to, like, when I see it's like we're in August or late summer or whatever, then I turn my attention over to my orchard housing areas, and then maybe I'll like temporarily be like, okay, let's take them off the trader thing temporarily and put them as a grave digger or whatever, just for the month of September, and make sure that they focus on harvesting the apples for September. Once it's over, back into October or whatever, then you can put them back onto whatever job. It doesn't matter at all. It's only during the month of September that you really need to worry about your orchard workers, you know, what they're assigned to or whatever. Make sure we have an ADU. What's that? Could be doing Welsh things. Oh, God. Sorry, pray for the militia. Your butcher game crashed. Butcher game came out good, and your veg. Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, the butcher setup is incredible. Like I said, if you get a rich salt deposit and you do a butcher setup, incredibly powerful. I would consider that an S tier setup, 100%. Just below the farming. Like rich fertility farming setup is definitely number one. That's the most S tier, but butcher with rich salt is probably a close second, to be honest. Yeah.
Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Yeah, we have almost zero fuel. I know, it's all good. It's because we're selling charcoal. And we're just using a little bit of firewood for our own... I just have like a surplus, so we're not producing charcoal if we have less than 20 firewood available. We're also just not really paying attention to it super, but yeah, where is our firewood cutter? Oh, right here. We could do with another one. Add another firewood cutter, whatever. Cool. So we're getting the materials that we need to upgrade the church. That's our focus right now. So we got the stone imported, so we don't want any more stone than that. So we'll turn that off. And then we'll go staff the stonemason station so we get the dressed stone that we need. And then the lime kiln's coming up, and we'll get the mortar that we need. And then we'll upgrade our church. And then we'll be ready for Tier 3 housing. For our lakefront property, our lakefront properties right here, we're going to have the property values are going to be skyrocketing. We got Tier 3 coming soon. These residents better be ready to pay some primo taxes, dude. And then we'll get more people moving into the town as well, so that'll be nice. Let's upgrade a couple more of these to Tier 2 in anticipation of the Tier 3 upgrades. So we're getting that dress stone coming. Once the lime kiln is done, we'll get the mortar. Oh, secondary hazard construction term, gotcha. Yeah, there used to be an option for winter fishing, yep. Yep, that does not exist anymore. That's old development tech trees, completely gone, and no perk for winter fishing right now, so you can't do any winter fishing at all right now, yeah. Alright, lime kiln, and we just need 10 mortar, so we'll just do a production limit of 10. Getting that dress stone coming in. Soon we'll have our church ready to upgrade, and we're midsummer, or we're in summer, so hopefully by the time we get this church stuff ready and done, then we'll be coming into another harvest window. And we'll upgrade some houses. Eventually, we do got the manor over here. Eventually, we'll keep like importing more stone and start gathering materials to like start getting like a castle built. You know, like on the, our plan was to have a castle here, like on the cliff side, you know what I mean? With like the rest of the town behind it, and it's gonna look really badass, like on this cliff side on the edge of the lake and everything. But we still got to get more, like, since we don't have a rich stone in the region, we're gonna need to like import more stone and get those materials kind of gathered up. But that's on the radar. Yeah, I know, Rizzo. I hear you, dude. That's, see, I know. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole too much, but yeah, dude, that's that's the type of stuff that, in my opinion, is just like, where is that stuff in this game? I really could care less about a stupid trade overhaul. Like, it's just absurd. But yeah, hopefully we get more decorations in the future at some point, because the aesthetic immersion is easily the best thing about this game, so hopefully they will embrace that aspect more and take that a little more seriously. If you try to... Mostly seem to have micromanaging your villagers. Just seem to mostly having to micromanage your villagers. If you take them off the job at Harvest Fields, but it's when I sign for the veggie plot, it won't take that person off. Yeah, so Kenny, like, there are so you, yeah, like you just need to set it up where you avoid that, right? So you have several options, right? So like your veggie plot workers, like I said, like we just talked about, I would recommend like assign them to like the saw pit, for example, or just assign them to like the church or a corpse pit as a gravedigger. That's going to solve your issue that you just described. They're going to be off. They're going to be off the labor pool, and they're only going to focus on the farming task for the backyard. So that's like the easiest way to approach it. The other option is, if you want to take the development point for it, you could take the Bamberg smallholders. And this gives you the small holding upgrade option. And then that will allow you to, if you have like a veggie garden or an orchard or whatever it is, you'll get another option here that looks like a little barrel or whatever. And if you click that, then that makes all of the families that live there, it'll make them like full-time veggie farmers, like officially. But that's the only way to like officially make them veggie farmers, is if you have the small holding perk, and then they are more like efficient. They're more like have more productivity and more efficiency on their farming tasks. But that's the only way to like officially assign them as like specifically a veggie farmer. Otherwise, you're going to need to assign them to, like I said, a job like a carpenter or a gravedigger or something like that. And then that's going to be your way to take them off the labor pool. But I would say, like, to an extent, obviously, I would say any sort of, like, city builder, town management type of game is going to involve a certain extent of micromanaging workers and stuff like that, right? That's kind of just the core of the game to a certain extent, right? But I like to minimize that by using these techniques. Honestly, my go-to is just to assign them as a gravedigger. Like, you know what I mean? It's super simple. But if you have an option to put them on something like a carpenter, then that's even better. You fell asleep trying to count. What's up, smart? What do you got? What do we got, Mo? Any of the artisan buildings seen an increase in production when going to tier 3? So I don't think like the level of the building affects the productivity, Smarties, but obviously if you upgrade the building and they get another family moving in, then that, like, having an additional family will increase the productivity. However, as far as I understand, like Bath and Infomolrat can maybe confirm or deny, but I'm pretty sure it's like if you say you have like an artisan shop right here, the tailor shop, right, and we have our one family doing tailoring tasks or whatever, making clothes, and then we upgraded this and now there's 2 families here. The second family will only add like 50% to the productivity, so they will increase, they will also make clothes and do tailor stuff, but only at 50% capacity. So technically it's better to just have multiple single homes for the artisans rather than like upgrading the artisans to have more people living in them. I'm not sure if that's like 100% confirmed or not, but I do typically try to avoid upgrading artisan houses. You know what I mean? Unless it's like,
Perhaps it was simply a bad batch.
unless like, for example, like in the town earlier where we're like trying to get 100% approval and like we need every house to be level 3, then like sure, obviously, but otherwise I probably try to avoid upgrading the artisans to tier 3. Alright, looks like we're good on the we got the mortar that we need, so we'll get rid of the lime kiln. We just need this dress stone to finish up, and then we'll be good to upgrade the church. True, but then they won't do other work. Trouble is each... Right. Yeah, sorry, hopefully that helps, Kenny. I know it can be a little confusing with, like, how it works with, like, these backyard gardens and stuff, because it's, like... It's a weird setup where it's like you put the backyard garden on the house and it's like only these people can work the garden, but they're not actually gardeners or whatever, you know what I mean? Unless you take that specific small holding perk. That's the only like official way to be like, you are a veggie gardener, you know what I mean? Other than that, you kind of need to just use like a workaround essentially, you know what I mean? Typically only need 1 orchard type per region. Yeah, I mean, once again, it kind of depends on how big your town is, how much are you consuming, etc., right? Yeah, I would say, like, honestly, until you're getting up to, like, really large towns, like, the yields that you'll get from just having, like, 1 or 2 good-sized, veggies or orchards or whatever is going to be more than strong. So to give you guys perspective here, look, this veggie garden right here, this is not optimized whatsoever. I literally just kind of like drew a little thing right here. I didn't even think about like you know, what's the optimal size and yada yada yada, whatever. I just put it right here, just followed the basics of like just having a double space and have some area in the back for the fields, whatever. Didn't really think about it much more than that. Look how many carrots we have, guys. Look how many carrots we have. I mean, that's literally just coming from this one, this little tiny little farm, this little veggie farm right here in this house. I mean, does it, you know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, do I need to add more, you know, another veggie farm for carrots? Like, do I really need to, like, think about, like, you know, what's the exact equation to, like, maximize the optimization here and blah, blah, blah? Realistically not, right? Because, I mean, I've got hundreds of carrots. So, yeah, I you know, it's obviously going to depend on, like, how big is your town, you know, what's the goals and all that kind of stuff. But I typically find that if you just have, like, you know, you just kind of follow the basics, you know, of just like have a decent backyard area, make sure it's the double size housing, make sure you have good logistics where, you know, storage and stuff like that's nearby, etc. You're gonna be good. And it's all kind of like touch and go, you know what I mean? Like it's all like fluid, like, you know, you can just, you know, make adjustments as needed, right? So and like with the fruit, you're not going to see an accurate, like, so for example, we don't really have too many like pears and apples right now, but like the apples just fully matured. So this harvest window, we should be seeing like an accurate representation of like a full haul of apples from this backyard. But the pears are still not fully matured, so they will still be like a lower yield. But of course, you have to take that into consideration too with the orchards, as far as like, you know, you're not going to see the full yields until the trees fully mature, which will take, you know, a couple of years or a few years or whatever, depending on which type. But yeah, the veggies will start yielding like the max a lot sooner. Okay, so we should have everything we need for this church. Yep, there we go. So let's take this guy off. We're done with the stonemason station. Upgrade church. Hype. All right, we'll get this done before our autumn window. And then so we have a September coming up here. So we'll go through the process of seeing, like, you know, how do we reorganize our workers for the orchards and the fields and all this kind of stuff. But we'll get this church upgrade here first. We'll tune in on them doing that little task. Since they only bring in fruit for one sort, you might decide you want the fruit to last all year. Right. Jan Plastic, what's up? How does animal export work? You got so many sheep and don't know what to do with them. Well, so you can export sheep, I believe, at the at your animal trading post, the same way that you import sheep, but instead you just set it to export. So I think you can, like, sell back some sheep and they'll take them to the trade points. But honestly, I would recommend just get a butcher extension get a butcher artisan extension on one of your houses and start slaughtering some sheep, baby. That's going to be probably the best approach. And then you're going to get hides that you can convert into leather and convert into shoes, which you can sell for massive profit. And you're also going to get plenty of, you know, mutton that you'll have another meat variety around in your town. So I would highly recommend add a butcher and do that rather than like reselling the sheep back, because you'll have plenty of other ways to earn money, like through economy, like regular trade and stuff. So I would definitely recommend put the butcher in. But as far as like if you guys have sheep and you put the butcher in, just a side note here, since we've been talking about butcher and sheep and whatever, the sheep will passively reproduce, of course. That's something that also used to be a development perk, which is just like standard now. And apparently, once again, maybe Baff and Infomolrat can corroborate this, but I believe it's 30 or 33 sheep, and that's like the maximum amount as far as for reproduction. So as long as you're keeping at least 33 sheep, you're going to have the maximum amount of like the reproduction cycle. So basically just try to keep, like, if you make a butcher, just put like a surplus for the sheep. Make sure that they don't slaughter anything past like 30 for the sheep, and then just continuously slaughter the lambs, right? So you'll have your 30 sheep that are continuously reproducing lambs for you at the maximum rate, and then you just you continuously just slaughter the lambs, and then that way you just have like a steady flow of meat and hides that you can use for food variety and for shoes and profit and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and that's all. That is all. Yeah. All more like details and stuff on that are in the like the butcher walkthrough. Side note here, guys, we have level 3 upgrades available. Let's go ahead and let's send it right here. We got level 3 housing. Our lakefront property values are on the rise, boys. We got tier 3 housing coming in. There we go. We got our church upgraded. Tier 3's coming in. Lakefront property values are about to skyrocket. But yeah, the as far as those like butcher settings that I said, you basically just go to the advanced tab of the butcher shop, yeah, and then just like I said, try to we can also pull up like a just to give you guys an example, but we don't have a butcher here in this town. We can pull up another town that does, but you would just go to your like butcher extension, for example. You would go to the advanced tab, and then here would be like sheep and lambs, like production limit or reserve. And so you just be, if this was sheep, you would check like sheep, and then make sure you have like 30, and make sure they do not slaughter anything past that. You got to make sure you always have at least 30 sheep, and that's going to continually give you the passive regeneration. Sorry, I'm behind on a couple other questions here. You observe second family only adds a little bit. Yeah, I guess it's like halved, right? The productivity that they give if you add more people to an artisan shop, it's something like half, right? And wonder if more families in the artisan shop frees up the dedicated craftsman from fetching water and firewood. That's a good question too, Smarties. Yeah. See, I would assume though that the son and wife are doing that regardless, right? I guess kind of like what Baff said. See, that one I'm not for sure. We would have to maybe observe them for a little bit, but I would assume that the wife and son go to get the firewood or whatever, water and that stuff in the meantime. Wishful thinking. Watch the output. You can hover over the yield to see the production in real time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for like artisans. Yeah, right, I know. So you could, yeah, like you could go to the general tab and then like hover over like the efficiency and the yield or whatever, and then see like if you notice like what the difference is. But, you know, that's getting more into the like specific numbers of stuff, which I personally, I think is just not really worth like investing too much time or energy into in the state of the game, you know. Does a single house apply to animal artisans too? No, good question, CNR. Yeah, so backyard extensions, like for anything else other than like veggies or orchards or anything, it doesn't matter. Like, so like if you have a backyard extension that has like these ones that have like the goat pens in the backyard, it doesn't matter if this house is a single or a double or tier 1 or tier 3, or if the house is 5 acres big or a half an acre big or whatever, the goats are going to produce the same thing. You're going to get the same amount of meat and hides and milk or whatever. So yeah, that's really only in like the size of the plot and the amount of people that live on the plot is really just an effect for the backyard extensions with the gardens for the like orchards and the veggies. And then like we mentioned with the art, like for artisan workers, but that's, you know, I think basically the result of, you know, what we're talking about here is that it's not really ideal to upgrade artisan houses to have additional families if you can avoid it. But of course, it's not a big deal like either way, but just like efficiency's sake or whatever, like if you have other houses, like if I'm looking here and I'm like, oh, if I want to upgrade this brewery to tier 3, or do I want to upgrade this house over here that just has like a goat pen in the backyard to tier 3, I'm going to choose to upgrade this one because I'm going to actually get another family moving into this to here that's actually going to go on my labor pool, and I'll actually be able to use for something useful other than just like a small increase on production for like ale or something, which we're realistically already producing enough of anyways. You know what I mean? So just like all those kind of factors to think about. That being said, we are approaching September here, so we got to think about harvest window. All right, so let's free up some late. So let's do this here. So here's what we want to make sure gets happening, right? So I'm gonna free up other tasks that don't need to be happening right at this moment, like during September. So like we'll halt on fishing, we'll halt on the malt house, we'll halt on, you know, the weaver, the clay workshop, all this kind of crap. We'll just like pause on all that kind of stuff and free up more workers.
Firewood.
All right. And we want to make sure we have like the max amount at the farmhouse. But now we want to go back and make sure, we want to check on what's going on with like our, you know, orchard workers and stuff like that. So the veggie guys, I already know. These guys, I don't need to mess with them because I have them permanently on saw pit and gravedigger. So veggie workers, they're taken care of year round. Don't need to worry about them. Now orchard, so like this guy who's like a trader, for example, probably don't want him going on. We don't want these guys going off and doing a bunch of stuff during the month of September. So here's where we would want to like, we'll take this guy, for example, and we'll reassign him temporarily like as a gravedigger. And this guy is a miller, which means he works at the windmill. See, now that one's fine. We can probably see, this is a great example of like, this is probably fine to leave this guy assigned at the windmill, because by the time these guys get done harvesting the grain and getting it all threshed to the point where they actually need to work the windmill, surely September is going to be over, right? So these guys are probably fine to be assigned to the windmill, and they're not going to have any tasks that come up during the September window, so that's fine. So we know this guy's moved to the gravedigger, so he's not going to have anything else going on, and then the other guy's at a windmill that has nothing else going on. So we know these guys that live on this orchard, they're going to be focused on gathering the apples. And then this one is our pears, which aren't fully matured yet. So, you know, we don't need like a full labor force to be able to, you know, get the maximum here. So, you know, I'm not going to worry about the pear one too much, you know what I mean? But that's the concept right there. And so that's, you know, depends on like, you know, what's your labor force, what jobs you have going on, right? What seasonal tasks can you free up for temporarily, etc. You know, and basically we're just, you know, you can't really unassign your storehouse and granary. We got to make sure they stay on, you know. But kind of other stuff that you can be like, you know, I can maybe take a break on producing a ton of charcoal right now or whatever, you know, and then you can focus more on farming tasks or move those people to a gravedigger or whatever it is. So now we can take a look. So these guys that live on our apple orchard, see, now they're all just here, you know, they're all here harvesting their plot, right? So we can see them gathering all the stuff, and we can see they're already racking up the apples. Here we go. So we can take a look at the yield on the general tab here. We can see the yield. We can see their labor speed, efficiency, all that kind of stuff. We can see it's being impacted by pollination, yada yada. So good. We can see, right? So we can see all these guys are here. They're harvesting. And we can see as they kind of make, so it looks like they're about like halfway through the plot now. So you can literally see like they'll start in the closest ones and then we'll work their way towards the farthest. And we just want to make sure that we see them get through this entire thing before September ends, right? So we can see they're kind of looking like they're about 3/4 done now. See, they're getting a little farther back, right? We can see they're getting farther and farther back each trip that they make. Looking like they're about at this line of trees. So now they're getting to the next line of trees. So they're almost done. They're probably about 80% done now. And see the miller, see these people that were at the windmill, that's working out because there's nothing to mill right now until we finish the harvest process for the regular farming. So that's good. And see, they're pretty much making their way to the trees that are all the way in the back of the extension here now. See, there we go. They're all the way in that back row. And so they should be pretty much done soon. And then once they're done, then that's it. Then we can put them back on whatever other job. So there we go. See, there's these last few trees here that are all the way at the end of the extension here. That might have been the last one right there. I think that was the last one. Yep, that was it. So see, now we can tell. See, they're done. Now they're all like, oh, I'm gonna go pray and I'm gonna go do whatever, walk around the town and be unproductive, because they're like, oh, I'm done, right? They finished their task. See, now we can tell. Obviously, they're done. We saw them go from the front all the way to the back rows, and now they're just like doing whatever. So now we know they're done. They've harvested everything they possibly can. We can see we got 69. Very nice. 69 apples. There we go. And then now we're like, okay, they're done. So this guy, we can be like, okay, you don't need to be a gravedigger anymore. He was on the trading post before, right? So like, okay, now you're back to the trading post, just like that. So we only had to take them off for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And then you just put them back to their regular tasks. And then this guy is already assigned as a windmill person, so they'll get to work on the windmill soon, because now we just harvested a bunch of grain. And then now we want to go ahead and flip over our fields. So now we'll go, this one from wheat, we can turn to barley, for example, flax, rye, barley, rye, do a couple wheat, there we go. And bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Now we got our farming tat. They already gathered all the stuff, and then we changed over the fields to new crops that we want to plant. So we're all set. This stuff's going. We got the orchards taken care of. Veggies are still rocking. So we can see now. Look, we got strong amounts. So now we have like a strong amount of apples. The pears are starting to ramp up too as the trees starting to reach that full maturity level. They'll be there soon. So yeah, we can see all that starting to come together. And then we're going to be harvesting now the wheat, grain, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll change our bakery. We were doing rye, and now we'll change it back to wheat. And we've got our lakefront property coming in here, tier 3 housing. Dude, these guys are living large right here. These are like the high-class citizens right here, dude. I mean, that's a pretty nice, I mean, I wouldn't be too bad if you lived in one of these little lakefront properties right here. It's pretty nice. Sorry, I've missed a bunch of messages while we were doing that. What if you're a vegan and you don't want your sheepies to be slaughtered? Well, I guess that's acceptable. I don't know if veganism existed in the medieval times, dude. Didn't have that luxury. Oh, geez, welcome back, Ned. You had to go shovel some snow and isolate a bursted pipe. Oh my goodness, dude. Hopefully everything's okay, man. That sounds crazy. Hopefully everything's okay, dude. Oof. That's the weather is getting intense. Yeah, I mean the mistake. You got the butcher in a few months. Went from like 40 sheep. Yeah, dude. So to your point, Kenny, and just a general note for everyone, yeah, when you build the butcher, they will, like, you got to make sure to, like, click it, like, select the butcher right away and double check the advanced settings, because if you build the butcher and you don't, like, check on it or whatever and set the settings, they'll usually just, like, automatically go straight to just, like, slaughtering your entire population of sheep. So you got to make sure if you put the butcher in, make sure you adjust the advanced settings like right away. Oh, see you later, Zira. Sorry if you're already gone. I'm behind on some messages here, but thanks for popping in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. No, Mo Smarties is slipping into the abyss, but he's back. Oh, Chad, he was such a nice bloke. Baff is remembering you fondly. Oh, God. What's up, AJ? Have you read The Foreign vs. Local Merchant? What do you mean? Have we read about it? I'm not sure what you mean. I do have a guide here on the channel about like doing interregional trade and bartering, if that's what you're asking about. I know Baff he's the fish and chips addict. I mean, it wouldn't be a Sunday stream without Baff going to eat his mushed peas and fish and chips, you know. All right, good. Smarties is back, new and improved, baby. Now we're talking. Looking forward to something. Yeah. Baps is calling me out, dude. I know. I'm a economy whore, dude. I'm all about the economy, dude. I need the economy to carry me. Oh, you mean have we read about the update? Is that what you're asking? Oh, we've definitely read about the update. I have a whole video, a whole video discussing it, and I share my thoughts. So yeah, definitely check that out if you if you haven't already. It's a little bit controversial, I guess, but let's see. Some plants have better personalities than fish. True. Don't I have waterfront property on the island where I live? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like even if you don't have waterfront property on the island here, I mean, you walk outside and waterfront property is probably somewhere, in very close, but it's a small island, so yeah. I could probably walk to I think if I walked out my door right now, I think within like a 5 to 10 minute walk, I could be at a view area that's like right along the water, and I can see like the entire like Cascade mountain range, and there's like bald eagles flying around and shit, dude. It's pretty epic. That's for sure. I walk out my front door half the time. There's like deer out here in the driveway and stuff, dude. There's like all kinds of like wildlife and stuff. It's actually kind of annoying. At first it was kind of cool, but now half the time I walk out front, there's just like deer in the driveway, and they're like acclimated now. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, bro, get out of the driveway, dude. Like they're not scared of the car. You know what I mean? Like you're like coming in the driveway, they're just like, hey, what's up? It's like, dude, get out of my way, you freaking deer. So the deer are a little annoying, but some of the other stuff, it is really cool to go out and see like bald eagles, see those pretty often flying around and stuff, and see like the mountain views and stuff. Is really epic. Plenty of really, go and have a nice walk with a view like anywhere. It's really nice.
Keep your heart warm and your home cozy.
Hit a nerve there. Yeah, no, it's the kind of the direction of the game and the development update and stuff is definitely kind of a controversial topic, AJ. Yeah, but yeah, if you are interested in hearing my perspective on it and stuff, or if you just maybe even just want to know about what are the changes that are coming up, whoops. Dev update VOD with my thoughts.
Firewood.
The October rotation is crap. Yeah, true. See, that's the other thing too, AJ. Yeah, see, that's why I also like to do it manually and have a little more control over it. And that's a good point, like AJ brought up too. If you do the crop rotation, depending on, I don't know, like how much labor you have versus how much like field work needs to be done or whatever, you could also put yourself in a position where like you put the crop rotation and they actually do the task like too fast or whatever. And oh, god damn it. Crap. I clicked crop rotation on this thing and it changed it to fallow, and now we just transitioned to October. Well, oh well. I guess this field is just GG for now. Well, there you go. Don't use crop rotation. Crop rotation bad. Yeah, I honestly just prefer to just do the manual. Yeah, but that's just a personal preference, guys. You can absolutely use the crop rotation if you have like the land for it and stuff. But yeah, stuff like that, you know, and like Kenny brought up too, like you know, it might not line up with the timing or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, not my favorite feature. I guess we can still replant this one. It's not GG, right? We're good. All right. We're not GG on that. Let's see. Can you do more than one trading post? Yeah, that's a good question too, Chasing Serenity. Yeah, we've just honestly, it's kind of like yes and no. You know, we've discussed that one a few times, and it's kind of like yes and no. So yes, you can do more than one. You can have more than one trading post, and that will allow you to like hire more families and have more, you know, like horses. Like you can have four horses and 4 families per trading post, and then you can just have more trading posts with more families and more horses. So yes, you can do that. And yes, that will mean like, yeah, I can have more, you know, families that are going to take those bulk trade loads to the trade points, right? But it doesn't really work like, you know, having the multiple trading posts. That just because you have all those workers with the horses doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually going to have stuff to take to the trade points every time. So as far as I understand, it's like a trade maximum of like 50 per item per region. So like if you have multiple trading posts, it's not like you can have 50 charcoal at each trading post stocked up and ready to like export from each one. You're going to have 50 charcoal total distributed between all of your trading posts. So honestly, I think it's like not really worth it to have multiple trading posts. I think it's best practice to just have one trading post, max it out, and have it in a logistically efficient location, and just focus on, you know, like making sure that you have like this, everything's like set up properly where you have the storage, stocking up the trading posts constantly with the goods that are being traded, and you know what I mean, you're covering all those bases. I would say that's going to be far more like impactful and important and better than it would be to just build another trading post, if that makes sense. I'm sure Bath probably already pretty much answered your question anyways, but yeah. Is it both male and female eagles that go bald, or just the males? That's a good question. I think it's just the males. But I'm not for sure. That's a good question. I have seen, there's like other eagles here too, like the osprey and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But the bald eagles are like the most, dude, they're so majestic. Like you see one of them in there and it's just like, no, you can't, there's like no mistaking that that's like a bald eagle, you know what I mean? The crap, yeah, don't use the crap rotation, exactly. Do the manual crop rotation if I could tell the raiders to give me a break during that. Oh, that's true too, most Smarties. Yeah, maybe you just got other stuff going on, and yeah, during that month that you just need the crop rotation. Yeah, that's a fair point too. They increase the agricultural efficiency, but I think I've not done comparison. Yeah, that could be true too. It also depends on like if you have the ox, like, you know, do you have like oxens assigned at the farmhouse, because that could make them more efficient and stuff as well, of course. And then like we mentioned before, like the size and shape of your fields also has an impact on that. So like if you have like the max efficient like kind of setup, then yeah, there's definitely a high possibility that you could be getting tasks done too fast during that like October or the September window. Yeah. Find it more annoying than rewarding to try to manage more than one village in just one region. Yeah, I hear you on that. That's another one that we've discussed many times, and I feel very strongly that that should be like one of the main things of the main features of the game. You know, where you have like multiple regions, multiple towns that are like, you know, you got multiple towns that you try to like connect with like bartering and all that kind of stuff. It was just really cool, but it's just that the mechanics that we have for that right now are just like extremely limited. We just need way more control. Like we need a better system and more control over like being able to manage multiple regions at a time and make it be more like feasible and not so much of a pain and a chore, and more like an enjoy, like a rewarding thing, like you said. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that will be a priority moving forward. And they did put a little note in that development update about, oh, this new trade system is supposedly, we're trying to like improve the like interregional trading and bartering and stuff, although none of the information that they told us indicated what does that mean. But yeah, hopefully we do get that'll be big. Because the mule station you can't regulate exactly. Yeah, see, because you like the pack station works with the mules. It works, but then like you said, you can't set like a maximum trade amount or whatever. They just keep going. You know what I mean? So you need to like micro manage them, watch them, and like watch your resources and like really micromanage them, which is definitely way more annoying than it should be. If you have 2 oxen and 4 families per 1 Morgan field, you can set crop rotation as long as the farmhouses are close to the fields. 1 farmhouse per field. There you go. Yeah, whatever info more that's it right there, that is probably the best information that you're going to get. This guy, Info Morad and Bath, they know what's up. Raiders never give a break. Yeah, and then that's the other thing. Oftentimes you'll get rain during, around this time of year or whatever, which will like destroy some of the goods that are left out. And side note, this is actually something that I didn't know until recently. The auctions actually help significantly with bringing in the stock, like the harvested goods. They can kind of like, how your horses, whatever traders can carry like bulk loads of stuff with the horse. Same thing with the farming task with the oxen. If you have a farmer with the ox, they can gather up like bulk amounts of the of the harvested goods or whatever, and transport them back to the farmhouse more efficiently, and so less chance that they'll be sitting out in the rain getting destroyed or whatever. So the ox, they have a big impact on the farming, to be honest, more than I had realized for a while too. Okay. Staff up tannery. We also got another woodcutter for more firewood. Cool. But yeah, so we got tier 3 here. We're looking good. We upgraded this house over here to tier 3 as well, so we'll get more people. We want to make sure, if possible, prioritize upgrading your houses that have these backyard extensions. Like, I want to upgrade this house, for example, to get more people living on this house with the veggie garden, or more people living on this house with the orchard or whatever. So we just have like more labor availability. Simplest outpost setup was getting the towns to send their pork for sausages. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So you have like a salt town or whatever, and then you send them the sausages and stuff, yeah. They have such an elaborated trade approach, like multiple development perk, but like they don't know what to put. The small holding is a high level perk. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows, dude? I mean, I'd be willing to bet money. I'd go to the casino right now and place a bet that like even the perks that we have right now, they're not. These are going to change too. Like this entire thing, like I wouldn't spend any time like getting too used to any of the current perks or whatever's to come or whatever, because they clearly don't even know what they're doing. So, which is sad, but is what it is. Yeah, that's kind of my view too, Morat, to be honest. I think the small holding should just be like a standard option, honestly. I think that the small holding should just, I think we should be able to assign people as a small holding, like, standard. Like, if they change so many other things to standard, they're like, oh, you get charcoal standard, orchard standard, all that other stuff. Okay, well, I mean, to be honest, small holding should be standard too. If we're gonna do it like that, you know? Like, realistically, in my opinion, they should have just left the freaking perk tree how it was. It was cool that you could unlock orchards or whatever, and then just have the small holding as an additional thing to unlock, or have it as a stand. I don't know, dude. There's so many better ways they could have done it, but I'm not gonna go down that road. When all is said and done, you have to see Man United say, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna be watching the highlights, bro. I watch all the highlights, dude. I watch Premier League. I'll watch Bundesliga. I'll watch Serie A, bro. I'll watch anything international. I'm into all that, yeah, bro. I'll go and watch highlights every weekend. That's my jam. Yeah, the hunting hound standard would be cool too. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I did notice that, most Smarties. Yeah, like more the gates, like that, where like the gate goes up or whatever. I did notice that, like on the other town that the other one where we had the max settlement level, like all of the gates were like opened or whatever. So yeah, kind of interesting. You like the new perk system versus the original? So what do you like about the new perk system? You like only being able to access one single perk and have no incentive to level up your town past level 1? Yeah, I guess that maybe is a little clue. Combine everything together. Yeah, maybe that was their approach. I'm not sure. Alright, well, I think we'll start selling shoes soon, because we're making leather. We'll probably start selling shoes soon, and then we'll ramp up our economy a little bit more, and then eventually we'll start importing more materials that we can use for the, eventually getting a castle going and stuff. But we won't go too much longer here. We got Seahawks playoff game today, guys. The big day for me. Big day for the Pacific Northwest, baby. Gotta make sure we're ready for that. So we'll be wrapping it up pretty soon here, guys. But hopefully the information with the approval and everything was really helpful, and got some look at some farming stuff, backyard extensions, all that kind of stuff. We'll make some more progress on this town, like I said. We'll basically we'll get the economy ramped up even more, and then we'll just like be importing construction materials, and then try to get the castle over here, and then we'll have like a really, this town will start looking really badass once we get the castle over here. Starting to get like houses upgraded with our like lakefront property and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, definitely a lot of potential with this town. And shout out, you guys recommended this region before too. This region is really cool if you guys are unfamiliar. This is the Lake Lem map. And the top left region of Lake Lem. And there's this really cool like cliff side. And yeah, we just kind of got like some fields up to like the edge of the cliff here with our fencing. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but like the fencing up against the cliffside with the farms and everything just looks so epic. I don't know what it is, but this is just like the prime time vibe right here. Good job sowing those fields, lads. Will I watch any World Cup games? Yeah, so I mean, there are a few games coming here to Seattle, Lumen Field. That being said, the tickets are like thousands of dollars, so I don't think I'll be able to go to a game. I would love to. That would be like a dream. But yeah, unfortunately in America we don't have the same ticketing laws that you guys do in England. In England it's like illegal to scalp like resell tickets, right? That's not really a thing in America. So typically what you get is people who are, more well off will just buy as many season tickets as they can and then resell them for profit to other people, which is a disgusting form of fan support. But, that's just how it is around here. But I really hope, yeah, that's my dream. That would be a dream come true to go to a World Cup game. There are several games that are going to be here in Seattle at Lumen Field, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe the universe will shine some good karma on us, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll have to check it on the other game. I don't know what's going on with the other game. The Broncos leading. Oh boy. Oh, you never played the old version? Yeah, see, that's the other thing too. Is it's a bit of a different perspective too. When those of us who have been playing the game since day one, get a little bit of a different perspective. But yeah, 100% more. That's what I'm kind of anticipating as well. Yeah. Scalpers suck. Here. Yeah, dude. I know. It's a bummer how that works, dude. Cause yeah, that's like the only way. I already looked up because there's like 3 matches that they already confirmed here for Lumen Field, and I've looked on, all the ticketing websites, and I mean like $3,000 like minimum. You know what I mean? Like, what? It's yeah, it's crazy. Fencing does look good, but not realistic. We don't have fences to stop you from falling off the cliffs. Yeah. I know, right? Well, we got, these guys are, we got the tavern. The tavern is now open. See, the tavern is open and stocked up with ale. The ale is flowing in the town, and I'm a little worried about some of these guys getting a little too drunk and falling off the cliff. We can't afford to be losing villagers. We need everybody to be working. We need laborers in the town, dude. Priority. That's right. Yeah, let the Darwin effect. That's right. That's right. Who's gonna take a tumble? And that is only if you do the World Cup play there. Yeah. Oh, bro. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, man. Yeah, no comment. But dude, it's crazy. There's no other words for it. It's just crazy. So yeah, it's very sad. Beyond sad. It's tragic. I mean, it's just, yeah. 100% town achievement. Have 12.4%. I don't know how on Steam it did all our achievements. When how on Steam you did all other achievements? Oh, you got all the other achievements, but that was your last one to get the large town achievement? Or the Cheerful Metropolis, I mean. Nice. The other ones are hard too. The challenging, restoring the peace. The merchant is if you are. I mean, the merchant can be easy now if you abuse it, because I think you can technically fish, and you can still get the merchant, but that's clearly cheating. You know what I mean? Like if you actually do the merchant how it's intended, that's still definitely a cool challenge as well. And then the military, what's the mercenary one? That one's not too bad. That one's probably one of the easier ones now at this point, but that one's still a challenge as well.
Poor quality. Stepped right out of the sand.
Where did we get the fencing along the cliffside? Yeah, it's just a quick technique. Make sure you watch too, by the way, these are like techniques that I showed in the aesthetic town design guide.
Feast your eyes on our fine selection.
Make sure you check that one out if you haven't. But yeah, just that one I show like techniques like this where you can put like fencing and some other decoration techniques. But yeah, you just use the farming tool and you use the pasture right here for they're sheep pastures, but we're just like they're not supposed to be used like this, but we are using them like this to make fences. But that's not what they're meant for. But that's just what we're using them for. Yeah, so if you guys haven't, yeah, the aesthetic town design, that's the most recent guide. Definitely, that one is probably the most like that's probably like my best guide. That's the most rewarding stuff is like in that guide, you know, because there's a bunch of other guides that I have that are like super informative about numbers and efficiency and all that kind of stuff. But the aesthetic town guide and like the kind of decoration techniques and like town layout and stuff like that, I think is like more of the like paramount parts of this game that we should probably be embracing more, you know what I mean? At least just, I don't know, in my opinion, I get sucked into the like min-max thing for sure, and then, there's like aspects of this game that have a lot of issues, but the aesthetics and the town building and all that kind of stuff is not one of the problems. So I would, definitely embrace that as much as possible and make it as nice as you can and as enjoyable as you can. Yeah. Dude, yeah, no, I hear you, Beth. I know, man. It's yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's just yeah, it's hard to even find the words. It's just like it's like kind of unbelievable, So yeah, it's just like wow. No fishing man, merchant one, yeah. What's killing else? Yeah, tax, exactly, yeah. That's right, remember the sheep are watching. That's right, we make our own achievements. Yeah, there's no hidden achievements, but we like to just do like little self-imposed challenges or whatever to kind of keep it interesting and stuff. Yeah, sounds good, Smarties. I'm going to be wrapping up here too as well, guys. I got to wrap up, and that's right, go Hawks, baby! Love to hear that. Love to hear that. We're gonna be wrapping up here in just a couple minutes, guys. How would that help the Smiths of Passion? It's like, oh yeah. So the Smiths of Passion, yeah. So if you have all of your, so if like you have like a full militia of, say for example, like this spear militia right here. Say they were like 36 out of 36, where they had like all the people that they needed, and then they had like all the spears. So like that top category where it's the red, where you see like the 10 out of 36 for people, 0 out of 36 for spears, and 0 out of 36 for the shields. If you had all those filled out, 36 out of 36 for people, spears, and shields, then they would be giving you a positive approval gain for each like militia that you had that was 36 out of 36 on the people and weapons. Yeah. Make a big castle and lose it to the AIs and then take it back from scratch. That sounds like I'm in for a very buggy future. Yeah, the Game Boy challenge. Oh my gosh, that one is like the mother of all challenges, dude. I don't even know if that's like feasible. Oy vey. Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying stuff, guys. Like I said, honestly, it is I have an internal debate going on. I feel like I need to like lower my standards a little bit, because sometimes like I make a video and I'm kind of just like, screw this, it didn't come out how I wanted it, and then I just like throw it away. I don't know, maybe I just need to like lower my standards a little bit and just release videos that maybe aren't 100% how I wanted them, I guess. But, you know, it's, yeah. The game has some limitations, of course, so. We'll see. I've been trying, like I said, I've been really trying to get, you know, more of the guides and stuff done, but it is definitely a challenge, so. I'm going to be working on more stuff throughout the week. More of the challenge runs and whatever, so we'll see what we can get done, but. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, thanks, Beth. Yeah. Heck yeah. Another great stream. That's right. We got that 100% approval on the other town from earlier, from our farming only town. Really cool. Our little lakefront properties and everything are coming together here. This town's looking nice, and, you know, eventually we'll have a cool castle here and making it look awesome, and, yeah. So I appreciate it, guys. We're going to be wrapping up here. I hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday and a great rest of your weekend here. If you guys are watching NFL playoffs, go Hawks, baby. Hopefully we make it. And like I said, we'll be, you know, I didn't get any videos out this last week. So hopefully we'll have some more stuff that can, you know, be ready for the upcoming week. I know there's tons of ideas and requests and things that I have on the list. So, you know, there's always more to be done. But yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. It means a lot. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining the stream. Thank you so much for your well wishes and all of the engagements and all the messages and everything. I really appreciate all the support and all your guys' interactions and just kind of being here and hanging out and good vibes and everything. You guys are awesome. So I look forward to catching you guys in the next one, next live stream, next weekend / next video here on the channel. Hopefully sometime in the midweek. And for now, guys, we are signing off. Never forget Christoph. Never forget Christoph. The representative. Alright, guys. We are out for now. Best wishes to you all. Peace and love, guys. Thank you so much. Catch you all soon in the next one. GG's for today. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy the ending.